go in here. And voila. There we go. Excellent. Okay, cool. We're all going. We're doing things. We're live and in person. Well, not really in person.
That's illegal.
That's illegal now to do things in person. You're not
You're not allowed to do things in person.
You're not allowed to do things in person, at least until summer, right? I think that's the current
Not until 2025.
2025. Maybe we'll be good by 2025. I'm thinking that maybe like if things have to keep going, they'll give us like those cool like. Did you ever watch Mad Max Fury Road?
No, I didn't watch
But
that.
that's too bad. It was a good movie, but they'll have
I
the
assume
little.
it was just a prophecy for 2021.
Maybe it was. I'm not really sure anymore. But anyway, the guy that was at the head, the had that like cool mask that they wore that was like the rebreather that had the like the two hoses that went out the side. I'm like, well, if it has to go on for a long period of time, hopefully they can give me something cool looking like that, so I can work with that. Anyway,
Sure.
yeah, sure.
Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back.
Oh no. And we
Right at the front. Be right back.
Yeah, yeah. But all right, everybody, time for a commercial break. We oh my goodness. Well, anyway, I hope everybody out there is doing well this February. We're what 6 days in, so we haven't broken February yet. I don't think. Have we? Not yet. We'll find out next week. Next week is Valentine's Day. I always feel like that's kind of like make or break. Did anyone? Oh, now I got to look that up because we had the Groundhog's Day, and I don't know what happened with Poxitani Phil. I'll have to maybe Alex is keeping apprised of that, or Cray, someone, anybody. I want to know if a groundhog doomed me. That's my newest problem. Groundhog Day. What was Groundhog Day? Wasn't it Tuesday? Yes, it was Tuesday. Did Poxitani Phil predicts 6 more weeks of winter. I hate you, Poxitani Phil. I hate you. Groundhogs should not be in charge of the weather. I'm saying it right now. They shouldn't. When isn't it 6 more weeks? It's June. When June rolls around, 6 more weeks will not be winter. But you already were not in winter. Groundhog Day 2021, Poxitani Phil predicts 6 more weeks of winter. Pennsylvania's most famous groundhog emerges from his burrow on a snowy Tuesday morning and saw his shadow, declaring there would be 6 more weeks of winter. Well, to this day, I still find that to be the weirdest holiday. Groundhog's Day is the weirdest holiday. Why do we ask a groundhog to the movie is great. I will give you that credit. I will admit the movie's great. The thought process behind the holiday though does not make sense. Someone once asked like how long do you think Bill Murray was actually in the loop? And I think they answered that at some point because Sam Raimi was or Sam Harold Ramis was talking about I'm messing up my Ramis and Ramises, but Harold Ramis had said that it's supposed to be like 10,000 years to perfect a soul. So Bill Murray was in there for 10,000 years.
10,000 years of Bill Murray sounds like a treat.
It certainly did. Had you ever heard that? For Groundhog's Day, the movie Groundhog's Day, it's people were trying to figure out how many loops he actually went through, and they asked Harold Ramis about it one time, and he said, "Well, there's an old like Buddhist tradition that it would take 10,000 years to perfect the soul, so for him, Bill Murray would have had to be trapped in that loop for 10,000 years." Was what he always thought of in order to perfect his soul.
So you need to just watch it 10,000 times,
Yes.
and then it's a perfect movie.
Yeah, and that will only take you a year. I'm
That's right.
pretty sure, right? You can
I
watch
know.
it.
We could do the crunch time if we wanted to.
Yeah. Do we have to eat 10,000 angel food cakes?
Does he eat one in the movie?
He eats the one. Yeah. He takes the
Then yeah,
big old
there's
bite.
10,000 angel food cakes.
Yeah. I was mentioning this while you were gone, though. Apparently, Poxitani Phil did predict 6 more weeks of winter, and I think that it might be time that we stop allowing groundhogs to dictate the weather. I think it's time.
I mean, maybe he should just start it 6 weeks earlier then, because we're like 6 weeks behind on winter.
Well, I don't know. I feel like groundhogs really need to get their act together and just determine, like, what's good. What's good? Is it good to have more winter or is it good to have more summer? Maybe they were trying to bet on the ski season being longer, and that's why they were trying to get 6 more weeks of winter in here.
One day the groundhog will become a void with no shadow.
Shadow. That's scarier, Cray. If the groundhog became a void with no shadow, that is a terrifying image for me. What would we do? The void hog. The void hog would have no shadow. Please.
I'm listening to our Twitch really quick.
Yes. Yeah, what's
aside from
low,
it being
what's high?
behind, but
I'm looking at that right now too because I want to make sure that audio levels are equal.
yeah, I don't think you can hear me.
Yeah, I can fix that. I had to turn.
I mean, that's fine. You can have one-sided conversation.
That's pretty much par for course. No, I can actually fix that. I had to adjust a lot of the individual ones down when I was doing previous ones. DC let me know that the game audio was very loud and I was
Yeah.
underneath it, so I had to turn a lot of stuff down. But that should be a little bit more equal now that we're in it.
Let me see then. Hello.
Hello.
Now I need to wait for I'm waiting for the delay.
Oh yeah. Hello from the future. Hello, future. Paul has arrived.
Have I? Have I truly?
No,
You might be here, Paul. You might be.
you might.
Or you might be there. Or maybe you're buried in snow.
This is also possible. I'm going to turn Paul up a little bit, though.
It's the New Hampshire crew. We're all here.
That's right.
Unless Paul lives right over the border. I can't remember.
No, I do not.
I do not.
I do not live over the border or do not live in New Hampshire.
I think he meant he does not see his shadow. And therefore he does not predict 6 weeks of winter.
He is still in Thanksgiving though, so
He's still in thanks. Yeah, you know what? But that's okay. Turkeys are a year-round thing.
No, they're not.
Turkeys are a year-round.
Yeah, they are. Around here, they are.
Yeah, they are. Where do you live? The turkeys aren't around.
A place where someone decided that they're a farming animal.
Yeah. Yeah. What about that, Alex? Think about that. Diamonds are temporary, turkeys are forever.
That's fair.
Yeah, there you go.
Turkeys are until you gobble them up.
You know, this is a really good lesson for people, is that you don't have to give anybody an engagement ring. What you do is you just give them a turkey. And with this turkey, you
How many
beware.
turkeys?
How
do you need to
many?
give them?
Well, I mean, if I have to tell you, I think it's like, you know what? How many turkeys can eat 1 carrot? because like a 1 carat diamond. So one turkey could eat a carrot. So one turkey. A Cornish game hen, actually, at that point. You could get away with that.
All right then.
Because that's how they measure the diamonds, right?
Welcome to Delve Turkey Cast.
By how many carrots the diamond can eat.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how they figure it out.
That's.
I mean, it's real. The real question is, how far down do they go before
Oh.
if you have to delve for them?
Oh.
You always have to delve. Turkeys are burrowing animals.
Sort of like groundhogs. Why don't we ask the turkeys to determine how long winter is going to be? We have to deal with them 2 months, 3 months earlier. Just have them figure it out. Around Thanksgiving, have the turkey figure out. It's a burrowing animal. Just have them figure it out. Do you see your shadow? Good. Now I'm gonna eat you. And look, we get dinner out of it too. No one
Dinner
eats the
and a
groundhog.
prediction.
So I've been playing Red Dead Online recently, and I accidentally just shot one of my posse members' horses because they kept lassoing me
Accidentally.
and I didn't realize they would die.
Accidentally.
All horses are not immortal.
I didn't realize there was hit rage. Okay.
They shoot horses, don't they? I'm pretty sure.
What?
Dude, they shoot horses, don't they? That's a thing people say.
Sure.
Why?
I thought it was you lead a horse to water, but you can't make him die when you shoot him.
You can't have him eat a 1 carat diamond. That's the
I'm sure you
carrot.
could.
Yeah. That's the carrot on the end of the stick. It's just a 1 carat diamond. Yeah.
It is made of carbon.
It is. Delicious carbon. Yeah.
Delicious.
No, Red Dead, yeah. No, the horses will die. But the fun thing is that I played the Red Dead Redemption 2, and if you go to try and get stuff out of the saddlebags, because you can try like stealing stuff out of people's saddlebags, there's like about a 50% chance that the horse will just straight up kick you in the face.
Well, you probably deserve it if you're stealing
Well,
stuff
you
from
were
the
trying to
horse.
steal stuff out of the saddlebag, but I mean, it's just hilarious every single time Arthur Morgan is like, yeah, and then all of a sudden you see the horse just like do this sideways thing with the just straight up kick you to the ground in the face, and your health goes halfway down. It feels like a 90% chance to be on. You're probably not wrong. I don't know what the odds are in the online one. All I know is like from the single player. So in Red Dead Online, it's probably a whole lot higher. But my experience was about 50-50. And really, what kind of relationship you have with that horse? If you start out basically say, yeah, here we go. Yeah, you could oh, that makes it so much easier to get stuff out of the saddlebag too. just so wait, in Red Dead Online, the trees you can like chop down trees, or the trees just come down and smack the horse on top of the head.
The trees can hit you. Oh god, I've been hit.
You've been hit
by a tree, I hope.
No.
No, by a lasso.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, the tree and the lasso are very, very different reactions.
I'm sorry, I'm just dodging one of my posse members. Oh god!
Oh no. Oh.
Well, me and the posse member have decided that we're gonna just assault each other. I'm gonna jump into that Discord, but I solely intended to jump into this Discord to wish you all a lovely evening and a stupid being.
That's also true. Well, groundhogs are being assholes, so apparently.
To be fair, I've met a groundhog once, and I didn't like him.
No. You
His
know
name
what?
was Mr. Resetti.
And you know what? That's accurate. It's the
Wow.
it's the reason I can't, I've met so many, ground animals. Yeah, it's 'cause Rossetti.
Nice. Y'all have a lovely evening.
Okay, Paul. Goodbye, Rossetti.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't reset your game.
What's wrong with you? Yeah, Rossetti was not fun. I also don't like moles because if you ever played that little game, one of my favorite games, the Banjo-Kazooie, there's Bottles, and Bottles is one of the most annoying uh char- characters that tries to teach you tutorial stuff. And then like his cousin comes in to help you, Jam Jars, in the second game, and he's a mole with like an army hat on that thinks he's people. I don't appreciate that.
You don't like moles that think they're people?
I don't like moles that think they're people. Or apparently in this particular case, I could also say, what do you think Rossetti is a mole or it is a groundhog?
It looks like a mole.
I'm starting to think.
That's why he's mining.
I'm sure that there is. Yes, for the record, Mr. Rossetti is a mole, a cranky, cranky mole. That is canon.
Me too.
You are canon.
I was gonna say cranky mole, but
Oh, you're
sure, I'm canon.
You might be a cranky mole. I could see that.
I am nocturnal.
You are nocturnal. And I think that the headlamp that Mr. Rossetti has would look very good on you.
There you go.
You'd like that.
Perfect.
And the pickaxe. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. The whole Mr. Rossetti look that's going on with the overalls and the white shirt and everything, I think you could pull this off.
We're going a little extreme on that, aren't we?
Sure. Let's go. Let's do it. That's a whole other stream we're gonna have to do. Let's see if we can dress up like video game characters.
All right, you got this. Have fun.
Okay. I don't want to dress up like a video game character. No, if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna be dressing up probably like who do I want to dress up like?
Mr. Clean.
Who?
Mr. Clean.
Shut up. No, I'm gonna I'll dress up as John Marston.
Don't know who that is.
From the first Red Dead Redemption.
I didn't play it.
Well, then I feel sorry for you. You didn't play the first Oh.
I haven't played technically either. I've only played RDO, which Paul's playing right now. And I didn't like it because people are assholes.
Well, you see, that's why I suggest trying the single-player games, because then the only assholes that you meet are the ones that are programmed that way.
And they can just murder them.
And to be fair, Rockstar does have a tendency to program an awful lot of assholes in those games, but still. And really, don't even worry about the second one. The first one's really truly better anyway. I hate to say that. Second one was beautiful, great music, great story, but the first one's better. The first one plays better. The first one has
Don't
better
ask
characters.
me. You'd have to ask your secret admirer about that.
Okay. Well, then haven't played the first one.
Never mind. I know that Red Dead 2 is one of their favorite games.
Yes. Well, no, I get that, Cray. I understand because I played through the end of I played through the whole thing. But actually here's the thing. Since Red Dead 2 is technically a prequel to the events of the first one. It might actually be interesting to see what you think of the first one now that you know the story up to that point, like the backstory from Red Dead 2. Because in the second one, John Marston, who you met in the first in Red Dead 2, he is the central character. And what he gets tasked with is to hunt down the remaining members of his gang for the like government agents that you kind of met in 2. So you get to kind of see the end of that storyline past the events of 2. What I will say is that I thought the gameplay of the first one was better. I'd play it, but I also feel like it'd be a disappointment graphics-wise. It's really not, like, obviously it's an older game, so it's not gonna look as good, but it don't look bad. Being used to RD2. No, I totally understand that. No, because Red Dead Redemption 2 was a beautiful, beautiful game, but Red Dead Redemption 1 didn't look bad, not at all. I had played some not too long ago. It's still a good looking game. It's you don't care too much about the graphics either because you're just very engaged with what they built and the characters, and also when it comes to the actual shooting mechanic, like the actual gunfights and all of that, much more streamlined honestly than 2. It just seems to work better, so the graphics don't necessarily bother you as much. And if you play the Undead Nightmare part, that's one where you can hunt down a chupacabra, and eventually you can ride a unicorn. There's a lot of great stuff in that one. You get a shotgun that can fire TNT.
Are we talking about Borderlands now?
Nope. We are not. This was Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare.
Alrighty then.
Didn't know about that one, huh? There's aliens and vampires in Red Dead Redemption 2. Yes, those are some side stories. But what I'm talking about is Red Dead Redemption had its very own like standalone expansion called Undead Nightmare that had a complete alternate timeline where everybody was zombies, and, and it was terrific. It was excellent. And yeah, I do crave a unicorn as my steed. The great thing about it is that yes, there's a side quest in that one where you have to track down the 4 horses of the apocalypse. And they're so like war. Did you mean to say crave? Yes. Yes. So you have to track down like pestilence, war, famine, and they all have like special abilities, and then
Darksiders.
sort of like Darksiders, but the actual horses are the horses of the apocalypse, and you can ride them. So you get the horse for death, and just by like going past people in death, they just all fall down dead.
Oh, well, that's handy.
War is on fire.
Well, what are we doing tonight, Nathan?
Well, right now I'm telling you about the amazing Undead Nightmare. After you get all of those and you hunt all of the legendary creatures like the chupacabra and all of them, then you get a quest so that you can find a unicorn, and the unicorn has a rainbow trail that it leaves behind as you.
Horse.
Yeah. Anywho, okay, so
it's like that deer I showed you the other night.
Yeah, like the deer, yeah. But this is a unicorn.
Whatever.
I'm really hoping that at some point Call of the Wild has, like we were talking about, like the cryptid expansion, and then
allegedly it might have something like holiday events.
Oh, fun.
I'm not sure. There's no holidays around right now.
I feel like there's a real possibility for it. Maybe not in the game itself. Maybe not in the Hunter Call of the Wild, but for them to do like a standalone game of its own making, that would have stuff where you could actually go and hunt, um, the chupacabras and stuff.
That'd be perfect.
That'd be a lot of
I still
fun.
think skinwalkers would be great
Ooh,
for
yeah.
Halloween. Yeah.
Well, there's that. What are the ones that oh, the ones that everybody are really afraid of and they usually look like they have like a bovine skull for a head, and I can't remember what their name is now.
Not sure.
They were I think it was mostly from Native American cultures, and they were
Most of them are Native American culture. Wendigo is the one that looks
Wendigo.
like an emaciated person. They don't have a cow skull for a head, do they?
Sometimes they are depicted as such, as like very large creatures that are draped in robes and then have like a deer skull. I guess more like a deer skull because it has the antlers
I guess maybe.
on their head. Sometimes they're viewed. Other times, I think they're just kind of like supposed to be grotesque, with like pointed teeth and mangy because they're always hungry. That the
Yeah.
hunger always consumes them, so they're like
God,
skin and
jeez.
bones and everything. Yeah, Cray. Yeah, it's a Wendigo I was thinking about. Wendigo's scary. Mostly because I never know what a Wendigo is going to look like. It could be me.
I mean,
Anyway,
you are pretty pasty and white.
shut up, Alex. Anyway, and fine. Moving on.
Damn.
Okay, listen, folks. We've had enough fun on this episode, so we're gonna get on to the actual meat and potatoes. Has Nathan been a Wendigo this whole time? Okay, so Nathan is a Wendigo confirmed. Okay, so here's the thing. First of all, fuck you guys. I'm going home. And then second of all, what I can say is, don't give away the subplot. You're giving away the subplots
I thought
here.
that was the main plot.
The main plot is them a Wendigo.
Yeah. No one's figured it out all this time.
Oh man, that's pretty great.
What a fucking twist.
That's an ARG in itself. That's
It's actually M. Night Shyamalan twist. Shmayaman.
Shmamalon. Yeah, let's get
Shmayaman.
M.
What a twist.
M. Night Remlem Ding Dong. It's like The Village, but somehow worse. So, and little did we know that Snowball actually a chupacabra, not actually a
makes
unicorn.
sense.
This whole time, Josiah Puffy Pants actually just Bigfoot.
It's M. Night Redemption 2.
M. Night Redemption 2. Good one, Craig. Good one. M. Night Redemption 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yes. Now with Bruce Willis. Oh my goodness.
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Camp. That's a whole other that's a Sam Raimi thing.
Oh, right.
That's
Okay.
more of a Sam Raimi thing.
Wasn't tonight's show gonna be like about puzzles or something? I don't know what happened.
I think it was. I think we're gonna get there, but
Sure. why
I
not?
know the person that really wanted to talk about was James, and James isn't here at the moment, but he might be coming a little bit later.
Damn it, James.
Damn it, James. Anyway, I did want to at least get to a couple pieces of like gamey news.
Game news.
I know, because usually
News.
yes, news, muse,
Amuse news.
lose.
Anyways, yes.
Anyway, there was one that I knew that I wanted to talk about. And I was looking it up, just because I had heard about this the other day, and it's interesting only to me. So don't worry if this doesn't bother you. It has nothing to do with Red Dead Redemption, by the way.
Oh, good.
It's a completely different thing. It has nothing to do. So, the big news from just a couple days ago, Gearbox has been sold. Gearbox Software has been sold.
To who?
It has been bought by Embracer Group, which is the same Swedish company that owns THQ Nordic and Koch Media.
Oh, that's
So,
not bad.
yeah,
HQ Nordic's good.
yeah, THQ Nordic is basically probably going to have some say in what they're doing past this. If you're not familiar with Gearbox, they've had some huge hits, like for instance the Borderlands series, that's theirs, and also new Homeworld titles. I guess they were working on publishing. They are also, however, the company that gave you Alien versus Predators Marines, and also they're the ones that did Duke Nukem Forever. So kind of like a very disparate group of gaming that is that they represent. Um, and definitely cannot say that it is nearly as big an acquisition as like Bethesda Software was for Microsoft. Yeah, and because I think what they're saying here, I'm just looking at the Kotaku article. The initial purchase price was 363 million, half in cash and half in Embracer shares, and a further 1 billion. Oh, that's not bad. If Gearbox is able to hit agreed financial and operational targets in the next 6 years. That's still a
Jesus.
big chunk of change. It's not like the what was it, $7 billion or something that Microsoft shelled out for Bethesda.
They're just like, we have all this money, please take it.
Yeah, Microsoft is like, please take our money. We will buy everything from you. Um, Randy Pitchford is actually staying on as boss. Who the hell knows why? They just wanted the magic shows to continue, probably. I don't know.
Sure.
But I think that they're doing everything that they can to try and consolidate a lot of these studios because, like, Microsoft and Sony are buying up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they want all of them to be produced in house.
That's true. That's true. I mean, it's just kind of insane to this day to think to myself that like Microsoft owns now Bethesda and they own oh god, they own Obsidian too. So
Yeah.
they own Obsidian, they own they own everything practically. And so that means that whether you liked when Bethesda was making Fallout games or when you liked Obsidian making Fallout games or if you liked In Exile doing like the OG Wasteland series, well they own them too now.
Don't they own old Bungie too?
In Exile. In Exile, which is the team that originally the people that are working at In Exile are the people that originally did like the Wasteland series from back in
Yeah.
the day,
I
and it
was
made
talking about Halo, Bungie.
Bungie. Well, Bungie was free of them for a while, but I think that they might have gotten reacquired. I think that they're back under the umbrella for Microsoft again. So because let's face Microsoft doesn't have enough money. They need more money, and then they're going to use it to buy up more exclusive properties.
They need all that money to produce more microchips to put inside people.
The thing is that none of them will work because they all work on Windows.
I guess.
Um,
Humans have Windows too, Nathan. For all the eyes.
I do work on Windows.
Into the soul.
The Windows into my soul. Yeah, the Windows 10 that I'm working on is fine. It's fine, folks. It's
Perfectly fine. No microchips needed.
no microchips in my head needed. But I do, yeah, I just find it fascinating to think to myself that the studios that make Wasteland, the studios that made, that made basically everything, they're all just Fallout, Wasteland, all of the different components, the studios that originated the thing and then the ones that took it over and everything. Yeah, they're all under the same umbrella and owned by the same parent company now anyway. So this is the reason why people have said, hey, you never know, there might actually be a New Vegas 2 on the horizon. Since Bethesda and Obsidian now are both working for the same company, and That would
New
be,
to Vegas too. Electric Boogaloo.
and hopefully it would not be with the creation engine.
Yeah, hopefully the first thing I do is go, you guys need to make new game engine now. Like yesterday.
That would be the best option I could possibly see is if Microsoft was like, "Hey, you know what? We have some other companies that we work with that are able to do some other stuff. So maybe use one of their game in." The ironic thing though is Bethesda has been using that creation engine for so long, but the other things they published, like from id and from Arcane, and they don't use the creation engine. They use their own stuff. And like they should have looked at Doom and Doom Eternal and said, "Hey, that runs real well and looks real good. What are you using? We'll use that." And it would have been like, "Well, we're under ZeniMax, so we got to help you out, you know." They didn't do that.
No, of course not.
No. Cuz that's the thing is that Microsoft didn't just buy Bethesda, they technically bought ZeniMax. So they also end up with Arcane and id and Machine Games under their umbrella too, and Tango.
They can make all the games.
They basically make all the games now. Does not mean there is some speculation though that does not necessarily mean that they are going to be exclusives to Xbox.
Who knows?
Because and I heard this and I thought to myself, this makes sense. Is imagine if you had your studios in house make the games and they come out as exclusives for your Xbox and your PC release for the people that have Game Pass and stuff like that. And then like 6 months to a year later you're like, okay, everybody else can have it now. And then you make money off of other platforms too for the same games. It's like, actually, that's a pretty smart business model.
Sure, something like that.
But at any rate, although the Bethesda one is more interesting, I was just kind of shocked to find out that that apparently Gearbox, which usually does a lot of publishing, it has the game studio sort of like Bethesda did, but it also did a lot of publishing in-house for some smaller stuff that they got acquired by another. So yeah, THQ Nordic essentially, it's under the same umbrella as them. Look forward to Borderlands Rebordered coming soon. I can see that happening.
Should be unbordered or borderless.
Borderless.
Yeah.
Borderless lands. That's I would say that's a possibility if they had not already done like a definitive Borderlands in
It's
4K.
an infinitive.
Infinitive. In Lands Without Borders, TM. I appreciate, Cray, that you put the TM. That really legitimizes it for me. But at any rate, so that was the bigger gaming news that had just come out.
TM.
And oh yes, also in less important news, but I happened to just see this when somebody mentioned this. So, Alex, had you heard anything about the Mass Effect Legendary Edition coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, real quick piece of news: the Legendary Edition will cut back on the butt shots. Sorry, folks.
Oh, there's gonna be modders first day that fix that.
Yeah, exactly. Then the mod community comes back and we're putting the butt shots back in. Sorry.
Yeah, why would they not?
Having played the Mass Effect series, just that sentence alone makes me think to myself, oh yeah, I guess they did like keep the camera down around waist level a lot while people were walking in front of it.
I mean, that's where the camera goes, Nathan.
It was a cinematic choice, I always thought. But, you know, whatever.
Yeah, cinematic for your booty.
It's cinematic booty, yeah. It's cinematic booty.
We call it booty vision.
It's booty vision. Fun fact, while I just look up some game acquisitions, is that this is what we're talking about now, like obviously Gearbox, so they're looking at potentially 1.3 or so billion if they can meet their quotas. Probably the biggest one of all time was the Bethesda one at 7.5 billion. But also there have been big ones in the past. If you remember, most of them are EA related. When EA bought Maxis in 1997 for about 125 million, and then they bought Westwood Studios in '98 for 123.
Yeah. My poor
Um,
Westwood.
yeah, and then they bought all of these, and then they pretty much shelved half of them and just kept the properties.
How are we gonna get more Tim Curry in space?
You mean Spice?
Spice.
Spice. Oh, and I forgot about this one. Microsoft buying Rare. Bought Rare back in 2002 for $375 million. That was a lot in 2002 to be paying for a game studio. Especially because, like, the first game they gave Microsoft was Grabbed by the Ghoulies. That was... I can only imagine the folks at Microsoft is like, okay, we paid $375 million for this studio. The ones that gave us GoldenEye, Donkey Kong 64, Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, Conquer. Great. What do you guys got for us? Well, we were thinking about like a game where you're like this kid and you walk through halls and you get scared and you have to do some like QuickTime button prompts so that you don't get scared and keep going through halls. And then it's over in about 5 hours and there's no replay value. We call it Grab by the Ghoulies. It's kind of cute. Great. Hey, those other series that you were doing, well, we'll get to those eventually. We'll get around to those one day. Yeah. Great investment. So, that must have been a
It
letdown.
sounds a little salty.
Well, I'm sorry, but it really, if it was me, I would have been like, seriously, guys. Like we bought a studio that's well known for like Donkey Kong Country. Like they are leaders in game design. Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Okay. That's a choice. It's a choice. Really is. That did not even have very much fanfare. And then like Cameo Elements of Power, also a very strange choice for them. Mostly what connects sports. And then they did Sea of Thieves. And it was also a little bit of a letdown. I have not played
It's a
Sea
lot
of
of
Thieves.
letdowns.
I have not played Sea of
You ever
Thieves.
played Sea Thieves?
It has sharks.
Thought you would have. Oh, I guess that's fair.
It has sharks.
In your version of sharks.
I mean, I will concede that the sharks do not look nearly as scary as in some other games. Like Stranded Deep. I ain't playing that game. Ever. Sorry, folks. Not happening. I'm not playing Depth. I'm not playing Raft.
You should
But
play Raft in the depths.
Raft and Depth at the same time.
Raft in the depths, yeah.
Look, I won't... you understand that I was the person who had to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey in a way where I had to see if I could do it without ever touching the ocean, so that I didn't have to worry about encountering a shark. This is...
Well, I mean, just encounter more sharks.
No. The problem was that there was one section, and this was a real difficult thing for me, Alex, where in order to take on to finish a quest to destroy the legendary monsters, I had to go to an underwater cave. And I had to swim into the underwater cave to do that. And they said, like, oh, there's some sharks guarding it. And I thought to myself, oh boy, how am I going to do this? So I did it. But the way I did it was I stood on the rocks right next to where the cave entrance was. And I got my bow and I shot all the sharks in the water. And then I took my little camera and I went under the water with my little underwater camera thing for photo mode, and I verified that yes, those were the sharks, and I can verify that there are 3 dead sharks at the bottom of the thing. Good. Now I will just go into right next to where the cave is and just go straight through the cave.
Perfect. Sounds like you did a good job.
And then there was another shark. No, there wasn't another shark. But I was able
just
to
waiting for you. It was the biggest shark of all.
It was the biggest shark of all. Yeah, they keep trying to trick you in that game too. Like there's a leap of faith, and they're like, only the strongest survive this. And if you go into like the assassin vision, you see that there's 3 sharks swimming around under the water that you can't see if you were to dive into the hole. And they're just all there, and I'm like, nope. I'm taking it.
Only the strongest survive because, the rest of y'all are dead.
Yeah. Also, the big acquisition, EA buying BioWare, which has worked out so well for them. $775 million. Million. Just so they could get themselves all of that lovely Anthem goodness. Cool. It's great. No, that's not fair. They also ended up with some Dragon Age and some Mass Effect entries. So that worked out okay for them, I suppose. But
I mean, is Mass Effect having a new? They're re-releasing it, whatever you said, Legendary.
There's the Legendary Collection, but there's also there's been a lot of talk that there's actually going to be a new installment of the Mass Effect franchise.
Well, that's why they're doing a Legendary Edition, so they can get you amped for the next one.
Get you amped for it. I don't think that collection includes Andromeda. I'm not sure. I think it's mostly the original trilogy that they're trying to promote, and that they have also confirmed that there is going to be a Dragon Age 4. So that's something. But I did still find it odd that, considering EA had the Star Wars license and BioWare made Knights of the Old Republic, they didn't just say, BioWare, make another Knights of the Old Republic. It seems like it would have been a smart move that they did not take. This is one that I find fascinating, though, Alex. There are a couple acquisitions as I'm going through the big ones. These fascinate me. EA buying PopCap games.
Really?
Okay, you're telling in 2011. So
they're gonna get Peggle?
They got Peggle, and they got themselves a Plants vs. Zombies and the Bejeweled, right? How much do you think they paid for freaking PopCap games?
Oh, 1.2 billion.
No, actually, it was 750 million.
Oh, it was close.
But I mean, maybe that was a smart move. Plants vs. Zombies. They got themselves the sequel to that. Peggle 2.
There's a zombie on your lawn.
Maybe that was a smart move. I don't know. But then this one kind of makes sense, though. Kind of makes sense, which was Microsoft purchasing Mojang.
Oh, yeah.
Now you can probably imagine how much they had to pay for that, though, because this is Minecraft.
Pretty penny. Yep.
Yeah, it was $2.5 billion. $2.5 billion. But for the juggernaut that is Minecraft, that kind of makes sense. Respawn Entertainment, when EA bought that for $315 million, I've heard a story about that. That they tried to like downplay or keep sales from like the original, from like Titanfall 2 down, because they were trying to buy Respawn so that they could negotiate for a better price. Which Respawn's a great company. They definitely got their money's worth out of them, because they also delivered, just out of the blue, Apex Legends for them.
Oh, there you go.
And also Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order. And obviously Titanfall 2. So, good deal. And then Relic Entertainment, Sega bought that in 2013 for $23 million. Seems pretty small by comparison, actually. But they, Relic Entertainment, were the ones that created a lot of RTS games, including Warhammer 40K Dawn of War.
Yeah, Relic and THQ.
Yep, Relic and THQ. Sega bought them in 2013. This THQ goes bankrupt and sells Relic to Sega.
Yep.
And then Homeworld gets sold off to Gearbox separately. So now Gearbox is bought by THQ Nordic. So that's an interesting circular way of doing that. But then they did like Companies of Heroes 2 and Dawn of War. Some of these made more. Oh, and Relic is now developing Age of Empires 4.
There
I
you
did
go.
not know that.
Didn't know they were making that.
Yeah, I didn't know they were making Age of Empires. I like Age of Empires. I don't know how much. Did you ever play the Age of Empires series?
Not really.
No. Not
Eh.
not your RTS of choice.
It wasn't bad. Just wasn't the thing I enjoyed as much.
Right. You were more Command and Conquer.
Yep.
Yeah. I get that. Now, Age of Empires was nice. I think that I wouldn't necessarily pick it over like a Civilization because I think I like the turn-based strategy games a little bit more than the real time. You get a little deeper in the weeds, but
yeah.
Of course, if anybody saw the couple videos I did about Crusader Kings 3.
How you doing in that, Nathan?
I'm never playing Crusader Kings 3 again.
No.
No, I did a couple videos where I got so frustrated just trying to play through the tutorial for them to teach me how to play the game. I said, "Welp, I'm out. Sorry." I felt like I needed an Excel spreadsheet to figure out how to do anything in the game. Like, I don't...
I mean, you know.
Well, I don't know how much... You've probably seen, like, Spiffing Brit play some and everything, but what they don't really explain to you in Crusader Kings 3...
I mean, I tried playing one of the older ones, so...
What they don't really explain to you when you get into Crusader Kings 3 is... My goodness, they love their menus.
Yep.
And they love... Like, you get into the main screen of this, and there are just buttons everywhere for different screens.
Yep.
And I was just like, I am so lost as to what you want. And this is in the tutorial, I was lost as to what they wanted me to do. It took me a good 20 minutes to figure out how I'm supposed to propose an engagement to somebody.
Oh no, I saw your video.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well that was not inaccurate. I needed my sadist girl to marry me, but I could not figure out why. Like, yeah, no, click on the picture, then click on my picture, this should work, and it just didn't. And then somehow I just clicked on something, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, I guess now it works now. And then when I tried to go to war, I couldn't figure out why I kept winning all the battles, but I was losing.
You're probably losing because of the attrition.
I guess, but I don't know. But they didn't explain to me how I'm supposed to do anything to fix that. And then the weird thing, but here's the really weird thing. So I lose and they say, yes, you've lost the war. And I'm like, oh, shoot. And then 2 seconds later, they're like, victory.
Because you won the war.
You've captured. But I didn't. They told me I didn't won the war, and then I've captured the leader, and I can declare victory. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't understand the rules of this game. I don't understand the rules of this game. And there's that thing where that little kid tried to have me assassinated, and they wanted me to say, like, am I gonna make an example out of the 5-year-old? No, I'm not gonna make an example.
You should have, Nathan.
I probably should have, because I know that kid's gonna come back to haunt me one day.
It's gonna grow up, and you're gonna have to kill him anyways.
He's gonna be my Hamlet. I'm gonna have to figure this one out. Yeah. No, I have not played Crusader Kings since I made those videos. And I do not feel like that was a bad decision. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, no to Crusader Kings, but yes to Age of Empires. I think that's really what we wanted to. And also, if they just made Groundhogs a mobile unit in a real-time strategy game, I will play it.
It would probably exist in Age of Empires.
Maybe it would. Hey, listen, folks.
No.
I'm just telling. Is it Relic? Is it Relic that's making that? I think
Relic.
it's Relic. Listen, Relic. Okay, I'm telling you right now. You shut your player mouth. No, what you got to do is you got to have a Groundhog mobilized unit, and we'll call them the Poxitanis. And they go in, they see their shadow, and all of a sudden, just like a giant avalanche comes down and wipes out the enemy army.
I think that they'd be strapped to like TNT, honestly.
They'd be strapped to TNT. Oh, that would be pretty great. You know what's fun, kind of on that note?
Nope.
They're in Wasteland 3, which is a game I still encourage everyone to play. One of the weird science weapons they have is a frozen ferret launcher. And its ammunition is literally just frozen ferrets that you stick into this. You just stick it into this rocket launcher.
How do you acquire more frozen ferrets?
You have to look in very specific places. It's not like you can raise ferrets and then freeze them into icicles. I think basically they give you a few when you originally get the gun, and then I think you have to find very specific vendors that have acquired such things. They're not common. They're definitely not common ammunition. And I can't tell you that they're a particularly useful ammunition, but it's just a very fun idea that they made ammunition out of freezing a ferret into a ferret sickle.
Cat snake popsicles?
Cat snake popsicles.
What's that from? Is that Red Dead?
Cat snake popsicles are from... Cray will probably have to tell us, because I don't know. They are from somewhere only we know.
Are you making things up?
Are
you looking it up?
I would accept that there is such a thing as a cat snake popsicle, but if it exists in the world... Oh, got it. Oh, okay. No, a cat snake is a ferret. Okay. I can see that. We've learned so many things on this episode so far. Cats and snakes.
Is this a meme? This feels like a meme.
Yeah.
Better be a meme.
What is this? Found assuming pet. Some sort of cat snake. Long and nimble with dryish fur and cat teeth. Seems to like cat food, but isn't a cat. Please come take this off my hands. It smells weird. I like the little thing at the bottom. Do not contact me with unsolicited services or offers.
Oh, that's just normal on Craigslist.
I know, but it's just in the context of this. It's just a little bit funnier. after I tried to, because somebody would be offering to tell them, like, trouble with cat snakes? Cat snake away. That's a product that they could make. But you see, I think that this must be a meme, because I'm seeing that the ferret is on, like, a leash with the little collar, and if they didn't know what it was, how did they know to get a vest that would fit it? But think about that. if this is just something that they discovered, oh, I just happen to have a vest that will fit this thing.
They obviously just have cats that are snakes.
They just did cat. They put this in a little cat thing.
They should just get snack cats instead.
They should just get snack cats.
Snack cat. Snack cats.
Yeah. By the way, the new, we're gonna just start another podcast. It's gonna be called DelveCast. And
No.
that would be a great. We just talk about cats all day.
Nope, I'm out.
You're out.
I'm out. I don't
That's
like
what it
cats
finally
enough.
took to break Alex. DelveCats would be terrific. It's definitely going to be more successful than our OnlyFans. Anyway.
Only cats. Take a
I'll
look
just
at that.
I'll just replace Alex. It's okay. Terrific. That sounds like a great idea, because really, Alex is pretty easy to replace.
Damn straight. Don't even need me most episodes.
No. You're around in spirit.
I'm around in shape.
Well, that pandemic weight. You got the quarantine weight going on. That's what happens to me too. At least that's what I'm.
You'll replace me?
I'm
That's fine.
just gonna. Perfect. That'll be perfect.
What an audience grabber that'll be.
And we can then call it Delve Cray.
Craycast.
Craycast.
Craycats.
Craycats.
Are you regretting that joke now?
Craycats.
It's fine, because Grave can use my setup, so I'll just still be here. I just won't be talking.
Oh, that's even better. I think that this is a perfect idea. Craycats, and Craycats is just my normal Zoom meeting. This is probably true. Craycats is my normal Zoom meeting. Craycats is also what they're going to have to rename that musical.
Because they're so cray?
No, actually, I was thinking of Spam-A-Lot, but probably Cats. We also work out really well. Crave Shadow Legends.
Grave
Shadow Legends.
This is what our show has become now.
Yes, it's just, our show is just a giant meme for Raid Shadow Legends.
Not fault.
Big up to that. Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends, not sponsored.
Possibly sponsored.
Possibly sponsored. Who knows? They'll have to tell us. I can tell you, this is my best pitch for Raid Shadow Legends. It's minutes of fun.
I think you added an S where it didn't need an S.
It's minute of fun.
There you go.
There you go. Console level graphics, if you're talking about a PS1. Next episode, why aren't we sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends yet? Yes, that is probably the next episode. Actually, the next episode, Alex, that we do have to do is we were going to do that holiday episode that we said we were going to postpone till it was polished.
That we haven't even worked on?
That one.
Good.
Good. We don't want the sponsorship. We just want the privilege of denying it. The accurate. Very accurate.
They'll offer you lots of money, but not enough money.
Not enough money. Sorry. Here's what you can do, Polarium. Okay. Is if you want me to do like a charity live stream or something, and you want me to play Raid Shadow Legends on a charity live stream, and you'll donate money to a good cause, then I will.
Not challenge.
a cause of our choosing. Then I will play your game for however long. You may need to give me some access to premium features so that I don't have to wait there for a long period of time.
Nope, it's gonna be the waiting game.
It's just gonna be the waiting game to make sure to see when my energy recoups.
Yep.
How do you feel about that? I know you don't play a lot of mobile games, but the idea of having
any mobile games.
You don't play any mobile games, but from a mechanics standpoint, because I guess the idea of the energy as a mechanic.
Hello, friend DC Eclair.
Hello.
DC Eclair has joined.
We're still Thanksgiving.
No, Eclairs also work for Valentine's Day.
Sure.
They sure do.
How are you tonight, DC?
Doing good. Just had some cereal, so.
You're still having cereal? Damn. It's a lot of cereal.
I noticed that you usually are having cereal according to your profile.
Yeah.
Man loves the cereal.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
What cereal, though?
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Oh, that's a good cereal.
Then you sprinkle cinnamon on top.
Oh. That's good stuff. That's good
Gotta
stuff.
go eat some cereal now. Bye.
Oh. Cereal's great, but I mean, groundhogs, those are better. Not to eat. Just a general rule of thumb. Maybe you can lure the groundhogs in with cereal. Maybe to eat. Yeah, Craig, maybe to eat. Depends if they see their shadow again. Damn you, Puxatawny Phil. Anyway, I'm not bitter.
Why are you eating groundhog?
That's a
To
really good
teach
question.
Puxatawny Phil a lesson.
I see.
You need to make an example so that they don't see their shadow anymore. And,
That just goes fast.
Look. Okay.
I mean, if you watch enough of Granny and Beverly Hillbillies, I'm sure you can pick up a few recipes.
Probably. Very, very probably.
I would like to apologize to the groundhogs of America. But also stop seeing your shadow. Okay. Stop being in control of the weather. You're underground weather rats, and I don't appreciate it. Anyway, I'm sure there was a point to all of this when I started, and I can't remember what it is now.
Cereal or groundhogs. It was something.
Yeah.
There was a point somewhere. I think you lost.
Groundhog cereal.
Groundhog flakes.
Those aren't flakes. You don't want to know what that's made of. Yeah. If groundhogs made a cereal, what would it be?
Groundhog flakes. It'd be snowflakes.
Because they say, no, it's got
The new groundhog cereal is called snowflakes. But with snowflakes, there's always 6 more weeks of winter.
God damn you.
No? I thought it worked.
Oh, oh, I hate you so much. Oh, okay. No, Bill Murray would be proud. So anyway, that was the gaming roundup for the record.
Oh, good. We're all rounded.
We're all well rounded. Yeah. So so I think the topic that we were actually going to discuss. DC's here and now, and Cray's still around, so I think that it's probably a time that we could actually talk about topics. We've only been at this for an hour or so. I think it's about time we get down to business.
Oh, is that what time it is?
Yeah, it's time for present business. We're getting into it now. It's good. James had asked on a couple occasions about puzzles and riddles and mysteries in
A
gaming.
couple occasions?
Well, he had mentioned it in the forum, but the thing is that if you had not caught up with our run through of Call of the Deep or Call of the Sea over the last couple Saturdays,
Cthulhu of the Sea?
you would not know that one, we love the sea, and also you wouldn't know what happens to Nora at the end of Call of the Sea.
Oh, she turns into a thingy.
It depends on which ending you take. There's actually two endings.
Oh, damn.
But luckily, earlier in the interactive chat, I actually shared a video where they show you the two different endings. The canonical one that you're talking about, and then the one that actually we picked, which I thought was actually a more appropriate ending. I liked it a lot. But anyway, Call of the Sea is a very pretty game that is all about puzzles. It's there's no combat or anything like that. It's just 6 different levels where there is a series of puzzles that are all kind of revolving around nature, music, the elements, etc. And so it got him on the first episode, really, where he was kind of like going, have we ever done episodes where we talked about puzzles and riddles and stuff like that? And actually, we should probably talk at least about the fact that we had discussed it, but we kind of wanted to have somebody on that knew more about that.
Right.
Somebody who actually did dev for games like that, because they do exist out there. The games that are like that. Alex, I don't really remember the one that you were talking about, but you're a little bit more familiar with games that are in that genre.
Maybe.
I
don't remember. I don't remember.
Oh, Gumshoe. You were mentioning Gumshoe.
Oh, right. I did mention that, yes.
You did mention Gumshoe. Games that are like in that kind of realm. I think the closest we probably ever came is when Will was on to discuss Call of Cthulhu, because that has a very strong investigation element to it. But that's probably the closest we really got to actually talking about specifically mysteries. Maybe City of Myth, or maybe Capers. When Craig's been on to talk about the different Capers ones, because I know that there is an element of that too, that about investigation. But I think more or less what James was talking about, and I know this from just playing DC, and I played in one of his games when we did the Santa Operation Santa Drop. He does have a big interest in puzzles inside of like a regular RPG, and I'm not good.
Puzzles can be fun.
I'm not good at them though.
You can do the Riddle of the Sphinx, Nathan.
Well, funny enough, in our 1879 game, we actually met a Sphinx, and the Sphinx asked us riddles, and if we got them right, we could ask a question of it.
There you go. So they do. They're Sphinxy.
They are. but you can only ask the Sphinx one question. And then the Sphinx does no more. You've asked your question. Tough luck.
It's like a genie, but it's a sphinx. So instead of wishes, you get questions.
That's right. You've never met a friend like a Sphinx.
Thank
But
goodness.
but see, the thing about it, I'm not good at puzzles in games. I don't know why, but when I have been presented with what is obviously a puzzle in an RPG, I think my head is still very much in the RPG area of doing the role-playing part, and the part where I'm trying to figure out a puzzle has gone to the back of my brain, and I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to now just outthink the system so I can get around doing the puzzle. That's a problem for me. I don't know if that's like, because I know that you've put some puzzles into your games too. And DC, I believe, has done that. I kind of remember one or two that were sort of in the Haunted Mansion one that I was playing in. And Alex, I think you've told me about one or two. But the problem is that if I'm your player, my first thing that I'm thinking about is I need to work around the puzzle, not solve it. It's going to make me a difficult person to deal with, I'm sure.
So it's okay to work around the puzzle, right? I mean, we should sort of establish that a solution could be that there's a way around you as the DM haven't thought of, and that should still be valid for your players to do.
Absolutely.
If it makes sense.
Mhm.
And when we get to it, I have little caveats on things, unless you want me to go into it now.
Yeah, go for it, because then we can draw off that.
So, looking at puzzles, and this advice I've gotten before from various people, is that you want to have ways for your players or their characters to solve it. You need to present the information, kind of give them hints at least 3 different times, maybe throughout.
Mhm.
What I like to do personally is, okay, here's a puzzle. Now you can talk to each other and solve it. And if it's D&D, I will give you inspiration if you all solve it and talk about it as people and players, and then we just accept it happens in game. Or if you want to roll for it, I can give you hints, but you won't get the inspiration, but you get closer to solving it.
Okay.
And then to build off that onto, once you get into things like riddles, I have certain riddles I like and don't like, and there are riddle generators out there. But if your riddle uses a word and that spelling of that word hasn't been used since the 18th century, don't use that riddle unless your group, unless you know your group is masters of language and will like that.
Yeah.
You're just purposely frustrating people.
Mhm.
And the point is not to, you want to present a challenge, but you don't want to make it impossible, because you want people to actually have fun at your game.
Fun.
What?
Oh, right. Fun.
What is this fun?
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't think that's how games work. I've always been told, don't go and have fun during your games. We're going to make this work for you. I've always been told that. Yeah, yeah, I think that's probably like one, I I think for me is that unless I know that there's an actual puzzle coming up, I'm not necessarily paying attention to the clues that are being grabbed. So the idea of doing it multiple times is a really good piece of advice. Because I probably would not catch it immediately. If it was just like an offhanded comment about something, I'm probably not in that mindset. Because I'm more or less worried about that there's a scary ghost coming after me or something like that. Like there's exactly. There's something behind the door. Now there could be a great puzzle behind the door, but my mindset at that moment is I'm going to open that door and there's going to be zombies, and I don't want to have to deal with these zombies. So I guess the real question that I kind of get into, because I've never had to design puzzles. I might have done so in the past, but my players never got around to even trying them, so I didn't have to really flesh it out. That was kind of a godsend. Anyway, but the idea that for me, I think it has a lot to do with mindset. Like if I go into a town. And so they're saying, well, we're going to be in a social situation. Okay, I get into the mindset immediately that I'm going to have to figure out how to socialize to get information out of people. If I'm in a dungeon, my initial reaction is I got to be ready to fight and make sure that I don't die. But I
Puzzles
don't.
can kill you too, Nathan.
Well, I understand that, but the thing about it is that the puzzle, I kind of get blindsided a lot of times because I don't know that, oh, this is the puzzle section, so to speak. And so I'm not in a mindset for that. I'm either thinking that a monster is going to kill me, or that social embarrassment is going to kill me, but not necessarily the puzzle part, which is a tricky thing indeed. Because what will happen is that then you say, well, oh, now I see I'm in a puzzle. Oh, I don't know how to deal with that. My character sheet doesn't explain to me if I'm good at puzzles or not. It's not listed on here if I'm good at puzzling. Now I got to use my brain and figure out the puzzle. And again, just not in that mindset. Ideas for players like me in order to try and get into a mindset, maybe like okay, I have realized puzzle has occurred. Do I have to push a lot of other things that are going on in that moment to the back so that I can focus on the intricacies of the puzzle that has been presented to me, or screw it, let somebody else in the party figure it out, and I just not worry about it.
Well done. I mean, it's always good if the entire, the party can work together too, Nathan.
Yeah, I'm also not good at that.
Gotta always be in the spotlight. No, it's good if the party can work together on things too. So
This is true. But now, how deep into this is? Maybe this is just me thinking about like the role playing aspect of things. But how deep in the weeds should I really be worried about? Like if I have a pen and paper in my hand, does my character also have to have a pen and paper in there? Like if they don't have access to it, I can't write stuff down either.
I think that would depend on your game and your games master.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see any reason that if you're doing puzzles, if you need to write something down, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just easier to work things out that way. It's like
Right.
It's almost like if they asked you to do mental math, and it's like, yeah, what's 600 times 23,482?
2.
It's like I don't think your character could do that without pen and paper. I don't think you could do that without pen and paper or your calculator.
105.
Yeah, it's 5. Just 5.
Okay. Never mind. Anyway, I'm glad somebody knew the answer. Also,
No, it's just a random number.
okay, I figured as much, but and then the other thing, which I think I kind of mentioned in a different context at one point to you, Alex, with the idea that a lot of times I will play characters that will either be characters that don't really pay attention, are in their own little world, have their own little thing going on, or are just really stupid. And so I think it's weird if I go and solve a puzzle and all of a sudden the stupid dude is like, maybe the answer is 5.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the, allegedly stupid guy being momentarily brilliant either.
That's true. You stumble upon the answer.
Then everyone looks at you and go, how did you figure that one out? And you're like, I eat potatoes every morning.
Also, like, 5 is one more than 4. Didn't anyone realize that? That had nothing to do with the puzzle, John. Yeah, but I have 5 fingers, so that makes
What if
sense
you
to
had
me.
6 fingers?
If you had 6 fingers,
Yeah.
you'd be finger rich, my friend. That's finger licking good.
Oh dear.
Oh no. That's a whole other game that we like to play. That's called KFC. How much
Oh,
KFC?
are you playing Senpai Simulator? KFC, we love you, whatever that one is.
Yes. Yes. No. I'm not playing that. Not this year at least.
Darn.
Not this. Sorry. I have deeply disappointed Alex. That is not our that is not the Valentine's live stream that we're doing. We'll talk about that later. But
Unfortunate.
yeah, it's not that one. It's not the other ones either. But anyway. So okay, I could be stupid as a character, but I could also still get the answer. But here's the other problem. You might have remembered earlier, I said I'm not good at solving puzzles. So if I'm playing the really smart scholar character, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing, can I just roll for something to solve the puzzle?
Yes.
Yeah. I
Perfect.
think it would depend on like what the puzzle specifically is, but in a lot of cases, yeah. I can think of a few cases that you probably couldn't, but in that case, I would like give you a hint if you did a roll really well.
What were the shark ghosts
Shark ghosts, because you don't like sharks.
or ghosts?
Yeah, it's real Scooby Doo of you.
This is very true. Scooby Doo. Hey, Scooby Doo. Speaking of mysteries, that's a mystery series. I think that
It's
this actually,
something.
this actually goes back to the conversation we had where I was like, you could do Scooby Doo as an RPG.
Oh, that was forever ago.
It does feel like it was forever ago, but you have to think about it. If we were talking about doing mysteries in a game, then that would kind of be an archetypal thing that you would draw from, that a lot of people would think to draw from. But you know, no one wants to be Shaggy. Well, no one wants to be
No one wants to be Fred.
Fred. Yeah, I kept wanting to say Brad.
Brad.
He
Brad.
kind of looks like Brad. Either that, or you would pull from like the Hardy Boys or Nancy Drew. The Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, because otherwise it's really hard to get a full like RPG party together. You have to really pull from some areas.
You just do a party of mystery solving bards.
The Bard
Bardy.
Files.
A bardy.
A Bardy party.
No, just a bardy. You don't need to say party if you got the bardy together.
The Bardy Posse.
It's the mystery quartet.
The Mystery Quartet. Ooh, that sounds fun. I like that. Or just call them Shark Ghosts. The Shark Ghosts.
That's our new YouTube channel.
Ghost Sharks. Ghost Sharks. Yeah, I could definitely see Ghost Sharks solving mysteries and puzzles. Okay, so I've been thinking about it in terms of just the player character trying to figure out what to do, but in terms of actually building puzzles, I'm curious because I've never had to do it. But thoughts on ways that you could build a puzzle if you want to do that kind of thing. I know this is the kind of thing James would love to weigh in on. Maybe he'll come in a little bit later. But thoughts, like Alex, I'll start with you. Just when you're building out a puzzle, where's your starting point to that?
Oh, I mean, it really depends on the type of puzzle you want to use. Like, there's tons of different like physical puzzles where you have to manipulate objects. There's coded messages. There's hidden messages. There's secret rooms. There's especially in an RPG. there's any sort of puzzle you want to make.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it depends on what the information you want gained out of it, or what you want your party to have to figure out.
I see.
So, like for instance, if you have a secret message that's
Uh-huh.
written in a secret language, if you want them to figure that out, then you need to have examples of that language in other places that they can learn from.
Okay.
But then it's straight up like in that case, it's either you let them roll for it and give them the answers, or you make them work for the answers themselves, which then becomes straight up decoding
Mhm.
a message in real time,
In this
like in the real world. Which, if your party's up for it, could be totally fun. If your party doesn't care for that kind of thing as real people or characters, then they're not gonna have a good time with it, though.
So in that case though, that feels more like either a language issue, like I would have to know certain languages, or I would have to
Well, I mean, you
uncover.
could use say you use dwarven sigils,
Okay, I use dwarven sigils.
like, but instead of just being like, yeah, this sigil means that, you kind of give them oh, this word in dwarven is this word in common, you know.
Okay.
So you give it, in that case with decoding, you give them enough of a sample text they can decode from, and you
Mm-hmm.
kind of have to fill in the blanks in a lot of cases. So it's a lot of guesswork too. Or you just have text scattered throughout other things where they can find all the pieces.
What about a decoder ring?
You can do decoder rings if you really want to, Nathan.
Can I put them in a cereal box for my players to find?
You could, but you'd have to make that too, Nathan.
Could the cereal box be
Yes.
Groundhog flakes?
it could be snowflakes.
can, can it be in a groundhog cracker jack? Groundhog jacks. And then there'll be a decoder ring, and you have to get all the decoder rings. And if you pay $5.99 right now, you can get the premium decoder ring so that you can solve the puzzle. This
And you
feels.
have to listen to Little Orphan Annie.
You have to
There you
listen to
go.
Little Orphan backwards.
Backwards
You have to,
while watching Dark Side of the Moon.
while watching Dark Side of the Moon, and only then will you understand the true power of Raid Shadow Legends.
I thought you were
Anyway,
gonna say Christmas.
no, Groundhog's Day. You'll only understand the true power of Groundhog's Day when you do that. Little does anyone know that that's exactly what Bill Murray did on round 1,500 of Groundhog's Day. They didn't shoot that scene. Um, DC, any thoughts on building, like starting places to build a puzzle out?
I was trying to think of my process in creating them, and I personally I like to use clues, and I always go with what is it I want them to figure out here. Okay, now what can I layer on this to step it back? So that seems obvious, and I also realized I like using a lot of pictures, and I like using mirrors and reflections and things like that in puzzles. So yeah, start with what your party needs to figure out, and then go back from there and figure out ways to present that information that sort of obscures the
Yeah.
front. I mean, a lot of it is your own creative process, and I was trying to form words around mine, and right now that's the best I have for mine.
That's okay. No, that makes that makes sense to me. Because like I guess in a similar vein, I kept thinking to myself, like once or twice, like I haven't read a lot of them, but occasionally I'll watch movies that are like the whodunits, the murder mysteries.
It was me.
It was you. It was always you. And I would sit there and I would watch Death in Paradise or Monk or Psych or any of those, and I would watch those and I would think to myself, wow, how are they able to come up with like little like the procedural mysteries like every single week? And I started to think to myself, you know what I bet they do? I bet they work backwards. they work from where the end of the episode is, and they work their steps back, because that would make sense to me. If you're trying to figure out like your characters moving forward, in order to figure out where they're going to end up, you have to start at the end and you have to work your way back through what they're going to find and how they would find those steps in order to get to the end point. So I imagine that when it comes to even writing that down in any kind of a mystery novel, you in many ways have to know where the end is going to be first. And then you have to kind of work your way back in order to get there, because you as the writer can't figure out the mystery at the same time your characters are. You have to know where they're going to end up.
I mean, you can bullshit the entire thing if you really want to.
This is also true. And then
And there's always the possibility that your players
yeah,
think of an answer to the puzzle you hadn't thought of, and in the moment you can change it because they don't know what
this is true. This is
So
true.
if you like something better and go, no, that makes total sense. Okay, that's it, and you solved it. And that ability to do those little mental gymnastics.
Yeah. Well, see, this is how I would arrange puzzles. I would arrange puzzles in that very same way. I wouldn't even have an answer though. I would just presented a puzzle and it's like, what do you think the answer is? And then hopefully somebody comes up with something good. And I'll be like,
Then no one comes up
yeah.
with anything good. Nathan's like, nah, you guys can't solve this.
Now you can't solve it. Or you didn't go through the right room. I'm sorry. Cave in. There was a whole other plot line I was going to get you on, but nope. That was the thing, is that like occasionally on the one time that I actually did do any kind of GMing, is I was trying to get them to uncover some other like plot threads that I was like, "Oh, these are going to be really good." And boy, I felt like I was really working hard to get the like leading a horse to water to get them to go there. And eventually I think I realized, well, if I did this again, I'm not going to be able to force this. I think they just kind of. So in terms of a mystery or clues or something, if they pass by the thing where the clue is, I just kind of have to just accept that they're going to not get that unless they decide to go back and look at it again. And
Yeah, that's where you need to think about presenting the information in a different way, and moving that information somewhere else, or in a different room, or
right,
put it in a different spot, lay it out differently.
Yeah. Probably not the very subtle way I would do it, which is chuck the clue in their face, basically, and just call it good.
Yeah, the thing with that, Nathan, is it depends on how accomplished you want them to feel. It's like if you hand them it, it'll be like, oh, cool. It's not really a puzzle. We just got handed all the information and the clues right to our face. But if they have to work too hard for it, that they get like demoralized, that's also not good. So it's a nice little balancing act.
Yes. I suppose that depends a little bit on what your definition of a puzzle is at that point. If you just hand them the answer, it's probably not exactly a puzzle. Something though that I guess maybe just for thematically for me had been a problem occasionally when I see problems present themselves, is that I've seen some puzzles that don't necessarily feel very organic to the world that they're in. Like where you're just going around and the world is this way, and then now I've reached a room and there's 17 gumball machines and they have all different color gumballs. And now you can't leave the room until you figure out the gumball puzzle, and I'll be like, okay, this feels completely out of place to everything that I've done before. And I think that's one of the reasons why when we were playing Call of the Sea, the neat thing about that game is that since it's on this mysterious island and they kind of use the island itself as a means to present all of those puzzles, and that there was an expedition trying to figure it out and using the information that they presented, it all feels thematically correct. But I don't know if anyone's experienced that before, but how would you try to keep thematically your puzzles in line with what the world building is that you're doing?
like in the theme of your world. I mean,
Yeah.
again, for instance, in my example, if you're using dwarven runes but dwarves don't exist in your world, that wouldn't be very thematic.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you kind of need to go with what's present and what's like what are things that are known and unknown in your world, and kind of go with that in a lot of cases.
But I mean, Alex, you could just pull a Fallout 76 and just say, well, actually, no, the Brotherhood of Steel is totally in West Virginia right now. Deal with it.
Well,
And-
that's just DM fiat at that time.
Which that that that's just us saying, nah, screw the canon. We don't
Yeah.
care. But okay, yeah. So your dwarven ruins, obviously, dwarves would have to exist in a world in order for dwarven ruins to appear. Fair enough. But like, obviously, if you have like the aforementioned gumball puzzle, I'm going to assume that your game is set in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Otherwise, this does not really make any sense whatsoever.
Or you present shifts in reality or time or whatever in your game early to sort of indicate that some things can get weird and there's a mash of things. You can have someone, maybe they discovered the gumball, but the machines aren't there, so there's gumballs in big glass jars. Doesn't mean someone hasn't discovered gum in your world, but you can change it to fit a little more. You know,
Oh, sure.
most places have glass jar. Gumball isn't. You know, someone processed the thing. You know, some sap and everything, and a gum and
Right.
put in. And,
Right.
you know, so there's ways to deconstruct a puzzle and put in your world if you really want to use certain elements.
Sure. I can see that there is, if you were taking like a Dungeons and Dragons, for instance, and somebody said, well, this thing that is almost impossible for you to comprehend, we had to use imagery that would make sense for you to process in some way. And so there could be elements that might not seem like they make sense in that moment, but that you could at least wrap your head around, that are outside of the bounds of a reality. Also good for things like a Cthulhu game, I'm sure. It doesn't make sense that there are these giant monoliths that spit out, chewy sugar balls, but they got to make that the new name for bubblegum, by the way, for gumballs.
I don't think that's a good idea.
These chewy sugar balls. Chewy sugar orbs. But at least you would realize, oh yeah, this is like an elder god trick thing. So now I have to just work with the concept, because I would not be able, my brain would not be able to comprehend what I'm actually seeing. And that could be the thing. Or you're in the Matrix. Also a good thing.
Always in the Matrix.
You're always in the Matrix. The gumballs, there's a red gumball and there's a blue gumball. Which one are you going what are you going to use? It's always a possibility. I don't know why I'm on gumballs today.
I don't know, Nathan.
You know how long it's been since I actually ate a gumball? Well,
A very long time, Nathan.
I guess you don't actually. Well, oh yeah, you probably shouldn't actually eat gumballs.
I mean that too.
Don't
I
eat
wasn't thinking
gumballs.
that.
This is not.
Okay.
This is not. I mean, I'm not a nutritionist, but I'm just saying.
Clearly, you're trying to tell people to eat gumballs.
I'm trying to tell people about Groundhog flakes, and now.
At least you're not telling people about groundhog balls.
No, that's a completely different thing. That is, they stopped serving them at IKEA. You can't buy them anymore. Anyway,
Groundhog flakes now with gumballs.
now with gumballs, yeah. No,
Just add
much.
milk.
Just,
Yeah. Exactly. That did not work at IKEA. They were like, no, we're gonna stick with
it's
our
a Swedish
meatballs."
delicacy, Nathan.
It
How dare you?
It's a Swedish delicacy. You can. It's delicious. Goes great with herring.
Yeah, of course it does.
And, and flat pack furniture. So anyway, That's also a different kind of puzzle, trying to put together flat pack furniture. I could speak from experience there. Um, how do I decode these instructions? I don't know. Uh, now, actually, that actually strangely brings me to a question about trying to present some kind of information in almost an instructional way in order for people to figure out how to solve a puzzle.
To like teach them how to do it.
Essentially, how to teach. Like if you're presenting somebody with information, that's one thing, but there's also like mechanics that are in play usually that you're gonna have to figure out how to explain the mechanics of the thing that you're doing. I mean, sometimes it's going to be inherent, but it's not always obvious at the front that, oh, maybe I should turn the handle, like press the handle in, turn the handle left, turn the handle right, and without the whole thing where, oh, you did it wrong, it cuts your hand off. That would be a bad puzzle. Don't do that. I think that's the only thing as a player I would ask, please, if you're running a game and you're having people do trial and error to figure stuff out, do not have a thing where your hand gets cut off if I do the wrong thing. It will not encourage people to try new stuff for your puzzle. I think that's sound advice, right? Maybe not. Okay, never mind.
Good advice, unless your players agree that cutting off their hand is a possibility.
Very true. You have to have that discussion ahead of time. It's like, and your hand doesn't grow back, by the way. It's not like a magical. There's no machine off in the corner with a hand reassembly device. You're just gonna have to deal with the fact that your hand's gone and it's never coming back. And well, but see, then there's a
Which is fine, and you can adapt and learn and deal with it, grow.
Yeah, that's true. For me, if I know that that's a possibility, I also tried to think of other ways that I might be able to manipulate stuff where I do not have to put my hand into the thing that's going to cut off the hand. I would be like, oh, maybe try pushing the button with a stick. That's also a good idea. What if I'm a lizard folk with limb regeneration? What? This is actually a good point. I think that lizard-based races in these particular games would actually do very well with the cutting your hand off puzzle. How long does it take for a lizard folk to regenerate a hand, though? It's not overnight or anything. That still takes a while. You wouldn't be able to do it multiple times. I mean, at least I get my hand back. But, or I could be that little. What was it? The one that we determined was actually an overpowered race in D&D, the grung. If I was a grung. Well, no, if I was a grum, I would just charm people by rubbing up against them and telling them to try out the puzzle instead. That would work. If I was like,
It depends on the type of grung, how your poison skin works.
I think I was thinking of the golden one. I think the golden one is the one that charms. I want to say it's the gold one. When I read that, I was like, that can't be right. I charm people? And they just do what I want until they get a save? Cool. I'm absolutely spamming the hell out of that ability.
There's limits to how often, like once you're resistant to it, you're resistant for a while, and
oh yeah, well I would hope so.
It's not always a high difficulty to do it, or
okay.
It's around an average difficulty, and that doesn't necessarily increase, and so
yeah. That's good. I'm glad you clarified that, because when I read it about like what all the different poisons do, and I was like, geez, this is that feels like a very powerful ability in the wrong hands. I would probably use that a lot if I knew I could just like touch people and make them do stuff.
Yeah. Just touch people, Nathan. Make them do stuff.
Groundhog flakes.
Yeah, make them eat groundhog flakes.
That's right. Chewy, sugary balls.
So yeah, Grung as a monster, it's a DC 12 con save.
Oh,
so
okay,
that's not
bad.
too bad, right? And
Not bad. So
you can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns if you're not, constantly touching it, and you're only poisoned for a minute. So there are limits to it.
oh well, that's good. But if I lick the grung,
well,
Why would
that's
you do
your
that,
own fault.
Nathan?
that's your
With a name like Grung, you shouldn't be looking at. Sounds grungy.
Well, people shouldn't lick toads either, but
Toad licking's not a thing, Nathan.
it is
Kill you.
in fiction.
Yeah, let's get all of our health advice from fiction.
Exactly. Exactly. No, I should mention public health announcement.
Don't lick toads.
Don't lick toads or grung.
Don't go toading.
Don't go toading. No.
Also known as like kissing the Kermit.
No, don't go. Do not listen to Miss Piggy, and also realize that frogs do not actually taste like Lipton tea. Also, also true. The Muppets may have given you a very false impression about animals. But pigs and frogs are also not roughly the same size. And bears, they're all actually very different sizes. But the Muppets may have given you the impression that they're all roughly the same size, unless you're playing like The Witcher.
And you can stick your tongue where you want. This is just advice on maybe not
This is
the
mostly
toads,
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do, but I am going to say that if you're thinking it's a healthy choice for you,
I feel like this needs to be clipped as delved out of context.
Listen, you can put your tongue where you want, but if you're asking me for health advice about your tongue, don't put it near toads.
Don't put it places that it shouldn't be.
And don't put it places where it shouldn't be. Sometimes when a toad and a tongue love each other anyway, there was a toad puzzle we were talking about, and then there was something about possum flakes. I feel like this is a puzzle in and of itself that we inadvertently made, and I do not know the answer to it. So
obviously it involves animal sacrifice. That means kill the party druid.
Well, and this is why you haven't played Hephaestus for so long.
He wasn't sacrificed. He's still alive somewhere.
Yeah, but next time he turns into an animal.
Oh, I mean, he usually turns into a bear and then falls on people, so,
He's a drop bear.
He's a drop from the ceiling as a bear onto you to kill you because he weighs so much.
Craig gives a very implores folks, if you know the answer, please let us know. We are desperate. The answer's 34.
What's the question?
What's the answer to this riddle that we've inadvertently made that involves groundhog flakes, chewy sugar balls, and licking toads?
Probably 42.
42. Congratulations.
I'm wondering what time of year you introduced the toads in the groundhog flakes. Like is that a New Year's celebrate-y thing, or
it's for
Valentine's Day?
Shamrock Day.
It's for Shamrock Shake Day. The day they release Shamrock Shakes, you start the thing with the toad. No, I'm gonna say Arbor Day. Earth Day.
For trees. Earth Day.
Earth Day. Because toads live on the earth.
Nathan?
Yes.
We all live on the earth.
But I mean, they're a little closer to it than we are. They're a little closer to the ground, so they have a better connection to the earth.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what
Yeah, I
holiday
can
would
tell.
you what holiday would you suggest?
The
Summer solstice?
some a French holiday, obviously.
Oh, Bastille Day.
Yeah,
Perfect. Okay.
because they eat the frogs.
Okay, great. So, yes, the toads get introduced into Groundhog Flakes on Bastille Day, and that is canon now.
We could just do a whole new
Excellent.
a Toad brand of cereal just called Total. Just spell it obviously differently. No, nobody. Damn.
Um,
Wow.
toads
Toad
get
show.
introduced into. I need to. I'm just putting this into the chat so that we have this for record later. Toads get introduced into Groundhog Flakes on Bastille Day because someone is going to see this later and ask, what the hell was the live show about?
Toads.
Toads get introduced into Groundhog Flakes on Bastille Day.
Yeah. So who needs to know anything else?
That's your first clue. Not going to tell you what the second one is. It has to do with ghost sharks. Ghost sharks. You know, actually, ghost sharks would be a really great thing to introduce into a game if you had like a pirate theme game. I would very much appreciate that because there are ghosts and there are sharks in pirates. You have just ghost sharks. Nah, that's actually scarier because ghost sharks are not limited by water. They can fly through the air.
There you go.
Now they're air ghost sharks. It's perfect.
Oh, that's a new set of Disney films. Instead of Air Bud, they can go with Air Ghost Shark.
They may have to use more CG for that. I don't think they can actually get a shark to turn into a ghost and then to do what they need to do so that he can win the basketball game.
I mean, they did a Haunted Mansion movie. You know?
They did a Haunted Mansion movie, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, let's face it. What's gonna happen when they do the Air Ghost Shark movie is they're gonna be like, okay, now you have to win water polo. That's gonna be the new thing. it's gonna. Oh man, Air Ghost Shark, we gotta win the big air water polo game. How are we gonna do that?
Or go to the people who made Sharknado for a different feel and go, hey, we have an idea for you.
That's right.
What if your sharks were ghosts
Ghost NATO.
and in the air?
Ghost NATO. Ghost NATO. Perfect. And then it's a mashup with Space Jam. And while they're in the tornado, it makes it easier for them to dunk. And they can win the basketball game against the aliens.
Are we talking about Space Jam?
Yeah, we're talking about Space Jam. Why not?
Wow.
It's
Our show is slowly degrading
no, it's not.
over time.
This still makes perfect sense.
Quality
Because we're still
entertainment.
no, this makes perfect sense because this is all puzzle and people need to figure it out.
Okay, yeah. This whole episode is just figure
was
out the
all-
secret code you've been doing this whole time.
Yeah, we're working a problem right now, Alex, which is
We are
how
a
do
working problem.
we're working out a problem. How do you get the shark to make the game-winning shot in basketball against the Monstars? How
put
you do it
Steven
is
Spielberg.
you get a tornado and you turn the ghosts into sharks, and then you have a heartwarming story where he befriends a young boy, and they decide that water polo wasn't good enough for them, and they had to go to the big leagues, and then they had to to start playing basketball, and the aliens came down, and it makes a perfect sense. You just have to go with
I don't want to.
Sometimes puzzles don't work the way you want them to, Alex, and this is one of those cases. Okay.
Can maybe create a marker in this episode where we go, okay, here's the 10 minutes where we gave actual advice.
Yes.
And then
there's a little
30 seconds.
There's a little snippet in here that's like the actual episode, but very much like when you're digging in a coal mine, right? Like,
yeah, your canaries all die.
When you're let's say you're in a gold mine, like you're gonna get those little nuggets of gold, but you gotta wade through a whole lot of rock in order to get there. This is very much the same thing. There's gold in here somewhere, but man, you gotta get a strong pickaxe, a very strong pickaxe.
Or that's the puzzle to the audience. Where's the advice? Where's the actual, good stuff we talk about that
where's the
say
show
we're going to talk about?
Yeah, if you piece this together later, you're going to find out that there's probably a good 10 to 15 minutes of actual episode in here, but we're going to let you piece that together for yourself. It's wrapped up in a whole lot of other stuff. We actually gave you really good advice, but you gotta it's all out of sequence. You gotta cut the little pieces together and you gotta rearrange them. It will be like one of those ARGs, Alex. It will be like you get the little sample clip and then you have to figure out exactly why.
ARGs don't give you sample clips. They give you everything and they're super terrible. Or they're just not ARGs, they're just stories.
What was the one that you gave me though? Rook to A4? Or?
Oh, that's a currently unsolved puzzle of some sort.
Yeah.
Rook A4, something like that.
I did play around with it just to see if I could do anything, but I couldn't quite figure out what they were going.
That one's for the Silent Library.
Silent Library, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that one's of the curve that there is from super easy and just like storytelling to like super hard and nigh impossible to figure out. That one's on the super high on the nigh impossible to figure out aspect.
Yeah, so of course
it's
Alex
very
gave
obscure.
Alex gave it to me and was like, maybe you can figure it.
With your 400 plus hours of audio editing experience.
Yeah, and also my inability to do the puzzles. But I kept thinking to myself the entire time I was doing it, honestly, the entire time I was tooling around with that, I thought to myself, I bet there's no actual answer to this puzzle. Like if I were designing a puzzle that was not actually meant to have an answer,
that'd be rude.
It would be rude, but I would have designed it like that. I would have designed it with those little like buzzy clips that sound almost like words, that are all out of sequence for the moves that are being made and the timestamps that are being done. I would have done it like that, and just there is no actual answer. Like there's no riddle there. It's just it's just a random,
just a decoy.
It's just a decoy after all of that. But I was watching a thing just today that was where they had these people who are supposed to be very, very like top of their field, and they're trying to figure out this puzzle that was built so that they wouldn't be able to solve it. And I thought that was really interesting. Like there was a group that's like, oh, they're gonna get their hands on this puzzle, and they're the smartest in their field, and we can't figure out we can't outsmart them, so we're going to build a puzzle that's specifically built for them to not solve it by having stupid answers instead of the really smart answers. So instead of like the very well thought out math problem, it's just the opposite of that.
So loud.
Instead of having the whole thing where like what? Oh, I don't know. You were saying something. I thought you said loud.
Yeah, something was loud. Don't worry about it.
Something was very loud. Me. The but okay, a password I can't crack. Okay, well obviously they use just password as the password because they're figuring that we're going to try to outsmart the puzzle, so they made the puzzle really stupid. And I was like, that's kind of a great idea, actually. Make the puzzle so stupid. And I'm like, I could get behind that. I could make puzzles that are stupid. I would totally make codes that anybody should be able to figure out, but I would love to watch people try to think how complex this puzzle actually is. Make simple puzzles that people think are complex, and then just watch them run around in circles until they go, "Oh, Occam's razor. We could have done the simple thing. And we chose not
Always
to."
do the simple thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess good advice if you're trying to solve puzzles, try the simple thing first. Because if you go back, like if you try the complex stuff and then you find out that the simple thing works, you're gonna feel very stupid. You're gonna feel bad, like, oh, I wasted a lot of time and I didn't do the simple thing. Like maybe what you actually do is while you're trying to figure out how to pick the lock and everything, maybe just turn the handle and the door might just open. Instead of trying to figure out the combination lock, maybe it's just open. Cray, yeah, advice. Be stupid first.
That way when the ghost sharks attack, you'll have less party members to deal with.
That's right, air shark. Advice, be stupid first. Honestly, probably should have been the tagline for our show. Delve.
Like the entire show?
Yes. Delve. Be stupid first. Which actually it kind of fits the theme from the early episodes. It's yeah.
Learning to be clever, Delve.
Learning to be clever.
It's titanium, bigger than a bread box.
Accurate. Accurate. I'm trying. It's just quarantine weight. I will not be bigger than a bread box forever.
I hope you will be. I mean,
I got some PIM particles, and now I can do that thing where I go into the quantum realm. It's pretty great. Somebody somewhere listening to this will be like, oh, that's a Marvel reference. Yes, it is. Yes, it
Into that one faithful listener. Good job.
Into that one faithful listener who's stuck with us this long. Yes, that's exactly right. That was a Marvel reference. It was from a Marvel movie, Ant-Man. And that that cat knows what's up. That cat is bigger than a bread box too.
No, the cat's just sitting in the bread box.
The cat is just sitting in the bread box. DelveCats. It's the same size as a bread box.
DelveCat.
We're
inside the box now.
We're making DelveCats. That's the next podcast project. And it is just a review of cat pictures that we've seen.
Honestly, probably would get really high in the ratings.
Oh, it would do so well.
That's an audio only podcast because then people would want to see the pictures.
We would have to do a YouTube version of it so people could see it. See the actual pictures. We'd have to look up like cat news. It's just really good descriptions of the cat photos. That's true. You'd have to look at the cat photos like we were art critics.
Aren't we all art critics?
Crave
is. That's fine. You're hired. You're a cat critic.
I mean, it's a cat. We really do need a resident cat critic. My art history minor is so prepared. Yep. This is, you know what?
That's what you trained for.
This is that moment. This is the moment where your art history is finally going to come to fruition. This is
This is where your degree is actually going to flourish. Not in that lofty graphic design job you have.
no.
In art critiquing cat photos
Yeah,
for
exactly.
a audio only podcast.
You know what? You go where the money is. Right.
Not
No, you go to where the money is. Podcasting. Finally college paying off. Yes, absolutely, Cray. It is going to finally pay off. This is where student loan debt goes to die. Right here.
the trash can.
Here at DelveCats, which will have some pictures of the cats near those garbage cans.
You should just make the cover of this one when you post it just a picture of a cat,
looking it up right now.
because then it'll just get 100,000 more clicks than normal.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a picture of a cat. I'm perfectly fine with that. I can find one right now so that I can get a good cover photo. That will make perfect sense. I think once or twice I actually did have pictures of cats on thing, and people really liked it. Oh, I got a great cover. Oh,
It'll be cats.
I'm gonna copy this so that you can see what the cover of this episode is going to be.
Good.
And you will that's the cover of this episode. Enjoy.
Perfect. All right, never mind. You've been overruled.
Yeah, no, that's
It's a cat in a bread box.
That's the cat in the bread box. Yeah. And until I can find a picture of a ghost shark, yeah, I think that's probably going to be our picture.
Just throw a few frogs in there.
Yeah.
Just for all good.
Oh, you know what I'm realizing now? There is actually a oh, cat in a bread box. Oh my goodness.
A bread box.
Yeah. Side note, there is actually a ghost shark.
Is it the cat in the bread box?
No, this is actually a ghost shark.
Is this like that? Oh, it's a real shark. They
It's
were
a
talking
real
about the
shark.
half black dragon shark I made for that one D&D game.
Oh yeah, no, these are the deep water sharks.
Oh no, it's a half black dragon shark that swam through a floor that was made of gelatinous cube.
Oh, okay. These things are weird looking. I'm just gonna say it. These things are weird looking. Ghost shark. Oh, actually, I guess that's also referred to as a ratfish. But anyway, yeah, put those in your game. See how people respond to that. It's either a ghost shark or a ratfish. I have to say that somebody who named this thing hated it. They absolutely hated it.
I didn't name it, but I also hate it.
Yes. Also, I hate it. I think that's actually technically a ratfish more than anything. It has a rat tail. Yes, it does. It does indeed have a rat tail. That is
It's
important to note.
that big old eye.
It's that big old eye.
Hate
I'm
it.
not going to show you the pictures of the goblin shark, which is terrifying.
Nathan, are you scared of sharks? What are you doing?
I am. But you know what's really interesting is that as much as these sharks look horrible, really like great whites scare me a whole lot more. So
They're so docile, Nathan.
I know, and if you flip them over, they like go into a Zen pose, and they don't want to, and they like to have their bellies rubbed.
Do you want to go shark flipping?
Yeah, let's go shark flipping.
Yeah. It's when you just take your finger and flip it off.
You know
Sure.
what I am realizing though? Most of this episode is just us saying that they really need to bring Street Sharks back.
I don't like you anymore.
I think that's all that we're really saying. There needs to be a new breed of street sharks.
A new breed? Are they going to be tiger sharks?
I really hope so. Wasn't there a tiger shark that was into shark?
Then I don't watch terrible shows.
Street Sharks was. Listen, I'm pretty sure that one of the Street Sharks was a tiger shark.
I don't want to know.
Well, okay.
That's the puzzle in this episode. Which shark are we talking about?
Yeah. Wait a second. I have a picture. I must share. So here's Street Sharks. I'm pretty sure that the one that's behind the obvious hammerhead, I am pretty sure that is supposed to be a tiger shark. Cuz it has like stripes. Like it is a tiger. That's obviously a hammerhead, that's obviously great white. This one with the spots, I don't know what's going on with him. But I'm pretty sure that the one with the little stripes there is indeed a tiger shark. So I think that tiger sharks are already pretty well represented.
See the stripes.
Well, wait. Hold on. I can give you a better one. There you go.
Unfortunate.
See, you see it now?
Yes, I looked it up on Wikipedia. One is indeed a tiger shark.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, I didn't think to look at Wikipedia. Not that anyone should really think too much about street sharks anyway.
You could have just said the one that's rollerblading. Also, why is that first one in that second picture look like he's got really bad underbite?
Also, why is his arm so long?
Oh, he's like the Neanderthal sharks.
I don't know who exactly that one is supposed to be. Maybe it's a whale shark.
That terminal underbite though is killing me. His head just looks like it's malformed.
So, are you really critiquing his arm length when they're all sharks with legs? Fair.
Yes.
Fair. His legs are also particularly short.
Cowboy boots, okay?
That's right. One does have cowboy boots. And also, do any of them have a tail? I think
they have legs. They have tails.
They lost out on this. I do
Mermaids
not.
And tails.
I think that they lost out on this, but I also love the fact that they were once paired up with Dino Vengers. That's just that.
I mean,
Why?
out of all the cartoons I've seen, I haven't seen this one. Probably for a good reason.
Yeah.
I have watched, a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't realize that they were humans that would transform into these shark creatures. So they're kind of hybrids.
Yeah.
Anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
They're were sharks, honestly.
This was the Dino Vengers and the Street Sharks and the Battle Toads and all of those were really. After Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out, everyone was like, "Oh, we could cash in on this." And so this
character in D&D needs to be a were shark, but it needs to be one of the street sharks.
It's just the street sharks.
Yeah.
It's just the street sharks.
And you just do it like a surfer dude and be like, dude.
Yeah.
Totally radical. I don't know what they talked like. I assume it was like that.
One used the skateboard, so depending on how 90s voices they went with it.
Yeah, I think they had more growly voices if I remember correctly. Because, they're sharks, so they should sound a little bit like they're lions. Sort of like that
You need to be a shark with a giant mane.
That's absolutely true.
All right.
But like, you remember the
No.
Jaws: The Revenge, like the fourth one where they just gave up, and when the shark jumps out of the water, it roars like a lion.
No.
well, if you ever see a clip of it, it's literally a shark jumping out of the water and roaring like a lion. Like
Goes,
that's roar. Wow. Okay. Anyway,
I don't think sharks make that noise.
no, they. I don't think they make much noise. I don't think they vocalize in general. That's not something
To
they
be
have
fair,
to do.
sharks are apex predators. They're probably silent.
Oh, they
They're like,
actually. Oh no, DC actually found clips. I'm scared.
perfect. Love it. Thanks, DC. This is terrifying.
It should be. It
What?
it absolutely should be, Alex. That's
To
that was the whole purpose of Street Sharks, by the way.
be terrifying.
Yeah. I think that
doesn't-
that's actually this is actually one of the best mysteries that we can have. How did this get greenlit?
How did it not?
I mean, let's face it. Somebody went into a room with a whole bunch of executives and said, "We got an idea of people that transform into sharks, but the sharks don't are on land, and they have arms and they have legs and they wear shorts, and one of them rollerblades, and one of them has a skateboard. Give us money to make the show, please." And they said, "Yes, here, take the money."
All of our money make this show a reality.
Well, they were a line of action figures by Mattel, so
Yes, that also helped. You just say that there's an action figure tie-in, and we can have them team up with Extreme Dinosaurs.
Extremosaurus?
Extreme Dinosaurs. There was also Extreme Dinosaurs that were named Stegs, Hard Rock, Bullseye, Spike, and the Tyrannosaurus was named T-Bone.
That's terrible.
Yeah. And their jeez. Their enemies were the Velociraptors that were named Bad Rap and Spitor. I
You don't like it?
I don't know. I think they had an ally named Porcupine Duval.
that's amazing.
Just like what? Porcupine Duval, a paleontologist and owner of a private dinosaur museum. A private dinosaur museum,
Yeah, of
which
course
the
you
which
try
the
that.
extreme dinosaurs inhabit as their lair.
Why would you not have that, Nathan?
Yeah. They also had another set of allies that were probably supposed to be a great product line called the Skelosaurs. And they were just 4 dinosaur skeletons. They were their friends.
They were their friends, not
Yes.
enemies.
Then after merging... Oh, this is fascinating. Skelosaurs. A group of 4 dinosaur skeletons. Of course, just a band getting the band back together. They appear in the episode Bones of Contention. At first, they are against the extreme dinosaurs. Then after merging into Megasaur, they become allies of the team.
Megasaur.
They're a Megazord, apparently.
Megasaurus.
This is terrific. This is what happens when Ninja Turtles are good, and the 90s also happen. You end up with these amazing properties.
The 90s was.
The 90s, yes. Folks, I'm scared to look at these, honestly. I don't know if I want to watch them right now. But wait, what is this? I happen to look at the Street Sharks. I we have a lot of nostalgia for the 80s, but I hope that they never have nostalgia for the 90s in any degree because I don't want these things to come back. Um here's this is one of the enemies, okay, of where was it? I love this name so much. Where was it? Come on. I was just here. Tentakill. That's great. Oh, here we go. um some of the enemies of Street Sharks, the Seviets, a group of mutant sea creatures that serve Dr. Paradigm, which include, this is my favorite one, Slobster, an anthropomorphic monster created by injecting a lobster with the DNA of Genghis Khan and Thomas Blood. And he was defeated when season 1 ended.
Wow.
Well done.
That is the most 90s idea. That is great. What is what? Okay, then there's another one called Slash, which is a swordfish, also injected with the DNA of villains like Genghis Khan and Thomas Blood.
Where are you getting the DNA of Genghis Khan?
It was lying on a sidewalk somewhere. I don't think that they really. I don't.
I mean, in G.I. Joe, Serpentor was had a clone of Napoleon and part of Julius Caesar, daring of Hannibal, bit of Attila the Hun, and a bit of Sergeant Slaughter in there too. So,
Nobody's brave enough to use Hitler, I guess. Damn.
Well, you don't want to make it too on the nose.
The real villain, you're missing like Stalin and Hitler. You're not going that villainous.
No, it's a little too recent. We gotta go further back.
Little ill.
Oh, Killamari.
No.
Great. An anthropomorphic squid able to project natural spears or harpoons from his mouth, and the many suckers covering his body. Oh man, this is I love this because this is where you figure, okay, they ran out of ideas. There's just a character called Shrimp Louie. It's just Shrimp Louie. It's a mutated shrimp, one of Paradigm's later Seviets. Exactly. It's so late in the day, he's like, I give up. He is not very strong, is quite the coward, and his primary weapons are big blaster guns. So there's no even reason for him to be a shrimp. Why would he bother? I just...
Blaster guns.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to turn you into a shrimp, and you're going to have amazing shrimp powers. What are those? None. Here's a couple blaster guns. Go nuts. That's terrific. That's absolutely great. I love that. Oh, man.
Seems accurate.
Jeez. I love that season 1 of Street Sharks was literally 3 episodes.
That's all they made. Just 3.
No, they had 3 seasons. It's just the first season they only made. It's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Had like the first season has like 68 episodes, and then like season 2 has 7. There's just like this one season where they have like 1,000,000 episodes.
There are 40 episodes in the Street Sharks OVA, if you must know.
Yes, there are. There are.
Oh boy.
They cranked those out between 94 and 97.
They made it to 40. How kind.
They made it to 40. Out of curiosity, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, you're gonna specify which one?
Okay. I am going to say the one from the 90s. I need to find out where that series is because, yes, there have been many incarnations. I know it had more than that number of episodes. Oh, here we go. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. Heroes in a half shell, turtle power. from 1987. That's what I want to find out. Please tell me if there is a god that they had more than 40. Yes, they had more episodes than Street Sharks. Ha ha! I don't know
How
why
many
I feel like
episodes
that's owning anybody.
Take that, Street Sharks.
Take that,
you failed enterprise of Sharking Man.
you think you're smart? Yeah, no. I'll tell you, the Ninja Turtles owned you on that one. No, there's at least 100 episodes of Ninja Turtles.
At least. Not sure, just at least.
I do like that the specials that they had from this particular series went from 1990 to 2017. Technically in like the original series. The 1987 series. But there is the other series that they did. But I just really like Ninja Turtles. I was the person who bought all of those action figures.
I remember this.
I had all the
I remember
action.
you having figures of Ninja Turtles.
I had the Baxter Stockman action figure, and I don't think he was in more than like one episode of the show. Baxter Stockman, by the way, was the scientist who turned into a fly. Basically, he was the Ninja Turtles version of Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. He was in a couple episodes at least that I saw.
He was. He probably was. I mean, he was no Krang.
No.
No. Krang was a whole other kettle of fish. He might have been a kettle of fish. I'm not really sure anymore.
I'm not really sure how we got around that being a kettle thing.
Yeah, you know. Oh, I'm looking at Krang Prime from the 2012 series, and I'm like, oh yeah, he looks a lot better now that he's not just in the giant mannequin baby body. They gave him like spider legs and stuff that he can work with. That's
Oh, so he's like, Darth Maul.
he's yeah, I'll show you new Krang. That's new Krang. That definitely looks a lot more impressive than his old body.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he definitely looks more action oriented than his old version.
Yeah.
like this Krang looks like he might actually be able to do stuff. The old Krang looked like he was basically just trying to work around inside of like a storefront mannequin, trying to figure out how to move the legs around. Yeah, this one's definitely shooting for the stars. This one's trying to get into parkour. Good for him.
Hardcore.
Yeah, exactly. Krang, American Ninja Krang Warrior. He's getting ready. He's gonna do it. I feel it. Anyway, so the puzzle part of this, I have to try to figure out how to relate this back to puzzles now.
I don't think you can.
This is an unsolvable puzzle. That's what it is.
Yeah,
I cannot solve the puzzle of why any of this even happened. Why did Street Sharks happen? That is a puzzle without an answer, Alex. Street Sharks.
They like money.
Oh, yeah, okay. Again, the easiest answer is the best. Money.
Easy. Money's the answer to all riddles.
This is why we got the Street Sharks. This is why we ended up with the Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog. Yeah. That's why these things happen. Big Bad Beetleborgs. This is how that happened, folks. I didn't go in for the Beetleborgs, though, because it had Beatles in the title.
Should have gone in for the Beetleborgs.
I know. I really should. Yeah. I should have gone in for Beetleborg futures. See how that ends up. That would be really great. Or whatever. Yeah, it was when the Ninja Turtles came out, then they ended up with like the Street Sharks and the Extreme Dinos and stuff like that. And then when the Power Rangers became big, then everybody was like, "Oh, we could do stuff like that too," and that's when they ended up with the Beetleborg. And Saban was like, "We'll take all of our properties and bring them to the United States. It'll be fun." Yeah, everybody can get a Megazord. Everybody gets a Megazord. It's everybody gets a
Get a
car.
car. Oh damn!
Got there first.
I
Sorry.
did.
Sorry.
I
Okay.
want a Megazord.
I would love a Megazord. Are you kidding me? I'll take one. The thing that always puzzled me. See what I did there? The thing that always.
Oh, good job.
Thanks. The thing that always puzzled me though is why even bother having the individual Zords if you're just gonna put them together and make the Megas? Why
Easier
can't?
for transport, Ethan.
But you know, I understand that it was probably a cost saving thing. Like the behind the scenes thing is you got to show that like long 2 minute sequence where all the individual dinosaurs come out and then you watch as they all turn into the Megazord and you see that every episode. But from a tactical standpoint, right? Wouldn't you just have them already be the Megazord? And why would you have individual dinos involved in this? There's not really much reason for it.
Because you want to relate to the individual characters and their dinos and those relationships. And then when they form the Megazord, you know that they're a more powerful unit altogether.
You work better as a team.
So that's kind of like the Captain America or the Captain Planet thing. Is that like, well, we have all the powers of the rings, but when our powers combined, we create Captain Planet, and we always need Captain Planet. I guess the thing is that for the Power Rangers part, I also had a problem with the Rita Repulsa because I sit there and kind of go, if you could have always made your monster grow, why do you even bother with regular sized monster?
Why not?
Well, because it feels like a waste of time. Like
maybe it's power expenditure, and that's why she always had headaches at the end of the episodes because it took more power, and
oh, I didn't think about
you didn't want to spend that, and you don't want to live every day with a headache, which apparently she had.
Well, the thing is, for me, Rita is a tragic figure because it feels to me like maybe she did because she would have. I feel like she kind of kept putting herself into that situation. Like no one was asking her to throw more monsters down for the Power Rangers to fight. Like there was not like an economy for like kaiju fights in the middle of in the middle of this wherever it was, this West California town, wherever they were.
Angel Grove
in
California. Yeah,
Angel Grove, California. Yeah.
Is that a real place?
they watching the original show that Power Rangers was based on is kind of amazing. It's on if you watch like Shout Factory TV on their Twitch, they'll have it on.
Oh yeah. Oh cool.
And so seeing how they built their story, and then Saban comes in, goes, "Hey, I can just make some American segments, with teens, so it's relatable to American audience, and use the footage from this show here."
Yep. Yeah. Which is great. Yeah, because they realized
which was brilliant because he made a bunch of money on it. So
yeah, I could take 50% of the footage that we shot for the Japanese version. I'll just take it over, and then I'll just.
Well, he didn't even shoot the footage; he just bought the rights to it.
Oh, he bought the rights to it? That's fine then.
That's smart.
I thought he was doing it without paying for it. It's like that's illegal.
No, because there was a Power Rangers, or what was the precursor to Power Rangers in Japan, and then they got the rights so that they could do it in America, but they realized that they can't just do the Japanese version, so they had to they hired American actors to do the parts with the actual actors out of costume, but the parts where they're in costume, they didn't need to reshoot any of that. They just kept the footage. I do wonder
and
to
the
my
villain story is so different. And like,
was it the same Rita, or was it a different villain?
it no, she is named something completely different, has different kind of motivations and
Oh.
everything, and it's more the Megazords are all much more connected to I want to say Buddhist philosophy, but that's probably wrong. That like it could have been Buddhist or Shinto, or I'm blanking on it right now. But
One of the Eastern
so they all
philosophies.
connected to that, and there was like really tragic episodes.
Really? Oh, wow. And then they realized they thought to themselves, for an American audience, yeah, we're gonna have to make this a little sunnier. And we're gonna
Yeah,
call it
because
Angel
one
Grove.
of the episodes I had read about, one of the arcs was that this particular character had a curse that when this candle burned all the way down to nothing, he would die. And this was in a children's show in Japan. And so
Tracks. Well, there's a lot of stuff from Japanese media that does feel very tragic when you look at. Like there's some very tragic themes. Of course, once upon a time in like Western media, like the Grimm's fairy tales kind of thing, like yeah, morbid was the thing of the day. You better make it really tragic for kids to really grab their attention. The kids were baked into a pie? Cool. Like,
See, what the Power Rangers was missing for a monster was always the Wendigo. So you brought it back.
wasn't that what Goldar was?
I don't know.
I don't know what
no.
Goldar was, like a tiger sphinx or something.
A Sphinxer?
Yeah. I guess so. I did start thinking to myself, though, if there was footage that I would try to just salvage, most of the stuff where the villains are just, like, going around their lair since they're always in costume and everything, I was like, that should be pretty easy to repurpose. Like, guys, after Rita was gone, there was, what, Zed or whoever the other... They had a
Yeah,
few.
Lord Zed.
Lord
Yeah.
Zed. And I was like, yeah, I could have seen that they did that in Japan, and they wouldn't have really had to change anything around. Just a few story elements and beats, but that, don't forget to do your sphinxture exercise. Well, no, you didn't have to, but you did anyway. So now here we are. We can't go back from here. Anywho, I was gonna say something. I forgot. Now I'm drawing a blank.
Blank? Why are you drawing blanks?
Sphinxture exercises, Alex. Now we're here. How did we
Where
get
are
here?
we? How did I get here?
And days go by. I know I was going to say something Power Rangers related. It's probably better I don't remember. Anyway, whatever the... Oh, yeah, no, I remember what I was going to say. The thing that I always found really funny is that, like, regardless of who the characters were, all of the people when they're in their suits look like exactly the same. So like if you see the second series, there's a kid, literally a kid. He's like supposed to be 12 or 13 years old, and he's the Blue Ranger, and he is a foot and a half shorter than everybody else. But when they get to the footage where they're kicking some putties, he's the exact same size as everyone else.
Got
And-
those stilettos on.
This makes canonical sense. I think there was actually a whole thing where when he puts on the suit, he grows to a full height of what he's going to be.
And just to go back to Lord Zed, because I remember things and then I verify them.
Yes.
Eventually, in Power Rangers, they made so many episodes they ran out of footage of the original Japanese show,
Yeah.
and so they had to repeat some. And Lord Zed was, in addition to the American version, that was never in the original Super Sentai, which was what Power Rangers was originally called.
Okay. Okay. This kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense because otherwise you'd be like, "Hey, why'd they get rid of Rita? They ran out of episodes with Rita." There was Lord Zed,
Rita, meter maid.
and I'm going to make a general prediction that a lot of the Power Rangers that they did afterward were not all necessarily based off of Super Sentai, because there were a lot of series after that. There was a lot. Well, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers obviously was the one, but then they had the Alien Rangers and
They had Alien
Zeo.
Rangers.
They had Alien Rangers. They
I want to
had
be an Alien Ranger.
Yeah. Oh, actually, no. I'm sorry. There were Super Sentai counterparts for like all of these.
Well then.
There were. There was Ninja Sentai Kakuranju for the. I said that wrong. I know I did.
No, you said it totally right. Say it again.
Power Rangers Zeo had and Turbo. Power Rangers in Space. Lost Galaxy.
Space.
Lost Galaxy. Time.
Space.
Spies. Power Rangers in Spies. Lightspeed Rescue. Time Force. Do you not remember Power Rangers Time Force, Alex?
Thank God, no.
Wild Force, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, Power Rangers SPD, Special Putty Unit. I don't know what SPD stands for.
Special
sorry.
Ranger
Space Patrol Delta. Of course. Mystic Force, Operation Overdrive, Jungle Fury, RPM, which obviously stands for Red Paint Minimum. I think that's what it stands for. Engine Sentai Goanger was the Super Sentai. Also, flawless pronunciation, I'm sure.
Flawless victory.
Flawless
Finish him.
victory. Power Rangers Samurai, and then Super Samurai, and Megaforce, and Super Megaforce, and Dino Charge, and Dino Supercharge. Ninja Steel, Super Ninja Steel, Beast Morphers, and Dino Fury.
Dino Fury.
So there's that, everybody. Good to know.
Thanks, Nathan. That made this episode 100 times better now.
It made 100 times better knowing all of the different kinds of Power Rangers that have been out there. I'm sorry, it had to be done. We had to know this stuff. I was the person who watched the new Power Rangers movie unironically. I needed to see it, and I needed to see if it was good. Damn it.
I think Nathan died.
I liked it.
Hello?
Hi.
Did you disintegrate, Nathan?
Hello. I disintegrated.
Well, that's what he gets for talking about the Power Rangers for a solid 20 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
Hello?
Nope.
Hello.
He's
Hi.
back.
No disintegrations?
No. I didn't
No.
disintegrate. I
How
was
unfortunate.
I was talking about how I watched the new Power Rangers movie and it was unironic.
Yep, and then it told you that that was terrible and it needed to end your existence.
It did. It did. I liked it.
Nobody liked it.
Yeah. I liked it. Sorry. I love that the intro to the new Power Rangers movie, they wanted it to look like a little indie film. So
It was an indie film.
it wasn't definitely an indie film. But yeah, we're like Jason gets into a car accident, and then the screen goes black, and Power Rangers in really small letters like comes across the bottom of the screen on a black screen with silence behind it, and then the movie starts, and you're like, oh, the small indie project known as Power Rangers
Power
2017. Anyway. So, anyway, folks, that's everything you need to know about puzzles and games.
That's all that you ever needed to hear from Delve. Welcome to the last Delve show ever, Power Rangers exclusive.
Not quite yet now. We got plenty of... Well, we've
Fish in
got
the sea?
time. We've got... There's a lot of podcasts in the sea. This is one of them. Good to know. Anyway, I have a feeling that probably in a more focused conversation, we'd probably be able to talk a little bit more about mysteries and those things. But as we said a little bit earlier, we were trying to see if we could get somebody on the show who's actually done games that revolve around those kinds of themes. Because as you can probably tell from this episode, we'd probably just start talking about ninja sharks.
Shark Ninja.
Go Sharko Ninja.
That's a YouTube channel.
That's a shark ninja. I bet it is.
Think it's a vacuum company?
The Shark Ninja is a vacuum company on YouTube.
Yep. Now you gotta look it up.
I'm going to look up and see if there's a Shark Ninja channel. If not, there's going to be by the time I'm done today.
Oh, there would have already been one, don't worry.
Yeah. No, there's Ninja Kitchen and there's Shark Cleaning, but apparently there is... I don't think there's a Shark Ninja channel.
Did you try Ninja Shark?
Oh, sorry.
The right one?
Ninja Shark. Oh yeah, Ninja Shark is a thing. I mean, it's not a big thing, but it's a thing. Oh yeah, they have like a little mask. It's a product. It's a thing you can buy. Anyway, yeah. So, game creators, if you're out there and you were listening to this going, "Oh, hey, I hope they talk about things that you could do in games to make puzzles," and you realized, no, we didn't do that. Please come on the show, and we can discuss it. And I swear, I will not mention Bulbasaur more than 3 times.
That's unfortunate.
This is my promise to you. That is a decrease in Bulbasaur mentioned by at least 10-fold over a normal episode. And also, we will no longer mention street sharks. If someone, dear God, if somebody comes on and explains to us how to do mysteries or puzzles, anything like that, I will no longer have to talk about street sharks. I didn't before, but now I really will make a concerted effort not to in the future.
Oh, okay.
I'll donate to the Patreon so there's no more street sharks. Yeah, I think that's going to be like if we do a revamp of the Patreon, Alex, it's if you give to the Patreon, we will stop doing these things. It is going to be donate to make us stop doing things.
So is that how we get patrons?
That's how this is reverse Patreon. Oh man. Good times. Good times. Anyway, so hey, this is the segment of the show where we ask what people are currently playing.
Do we? Is that what we do?
Shut up, Alex. DC, DC, what are you currently playing
Or streaming?
or streaming or doing in general?
I am playing and streaming Hades.
Perfect. That's going well.
Yeah, I've done some successful runs and gotten a bunch of stuff. And may go back to Horizon Zero Dawn because I want to save Hades for like Hades Friday. I've started calling it. So
Nice. Excellent. I had heard really good things about Hades, but I have not gotten a chance to play it. Out of curiosity, I think one of the things that made me kind of question whether I wanted to try it or not is they mentioned that it was like a roguelike, but I am getting more and more of an impression that it's not really that hardcore of a roguelike. Like you actually do get stuff that you can use to make each run a little bit better.
it's a roguelike. It's what keeps me into it is that the story keeps growing as you fail runs and come back through. And even after doing a full complete run, there's still more story and more relationships you can help or go through too. And yeah, you can build up your powers. And there's even what they call a god mode, which every time you die, it adds without completing a full run, it adds a % to your resistance. It doesn't damage resistance. It doesn't make the game easier. The enemies still hit as hard, but you have more damage resistance up to 80%. And I think it starts at like 20% or something like that.
Oh, okay. That's
so because they want you to experience the story, so they put in this god mode to do that.
Got it. Very nice. Yeah, there was that. I had also considered, now that they actually have it on PC, the Horizon Zero Dawn. I hadn't gotten to play it because it was a PS3 4 release. But that always looked good. It kind of felt like it was up my alley for the open world elements of it.
Yeah, that's been pretty fun, the bit I've played of it so far. And it's post-apocalypse, which I have my issues with post-apocalypse things.
Right.
But it's a fun game on its own with that, because the post-apocalypse stuff is sort of a separate bubble that permeates through post-apocalypse stuff.
Yeah. The storyline is basically like after human civilization collapsed, and then the robots, like the robots were like a dominant thing, and then they got to rebuild from there. If I remember.
Yeah, you hunt robot dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean, right there. That's pretty much the tagline: "Hunt robot dinosaurs." If that didn't sell you, I can't help you. But that looked good. I think that it was really a good timing to put it out on PC because it gets a whole other group of people to play it, especially because they're touting the next game in the series coming up for the PS5. So smart thinking, Sony. And besides that, wearing any special hats, new hats or anything like that?
Well, since it's winter and it's really cold where I'm at,
yes,
I've been wearing more knit caps.
Okay, good. Yeah, knit cap. You can't go wrong with a knit cap.
Yeah, I got a D&D themed one with a giant D20 on the front. So.
Ooh, a giant D20 hat. I love that. It's not a critical fail. That's a critical hit. Well, I mean, hopefully you don't hit your head. That'd be bad. Great. Alex, what are you playing?
All the things. Now, currently, I'm actually playing Elite Dangerous.
Oh, you are.
I'm
You're
currently
back
in game.
Okay. Oh, you're back to the Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, a little bit, somewhat.
Lil.
A little bit. I actually just where did they go? Came to a system that had big ass white dwarf in front of my face,
Oh,
or small white dwarf, I guess.
perfect.
Dwarf. I
That
was like,
sounds.
oh, let's not fly into that.
No, go for it.
No, I'm good. That'll
Fly on
hurt.
in. It'll be so much
No,
fun.
they hurt.
Yeah. No,
They
that'd be
they
good.
hurt.
Isn't
No,
there?
don't.
I had heard
Hmm?
something about Elite Dangerous having more like on ground sections.
That's the next expansion. Odyssey will have on foot, so
Mhm.
you don't even need a
Ship.
ship anymore.
Oh. They're gonna turn it into No Man's Sky.
Yeah, like I just threw, I just went through the cone of this,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can drive through the cone of the white dwarf, and it will boost your jump drive.
Oh. Very nice. Uh
Or it'll kill me. I'm not sure quite which it'll do.
that's true. Had you been away from Elite Dangerous for a while? I feel
I
like
had
that.
been.
Yeah. I was gonna
I
say.
had not played it in like a year or so,
Yeah.
at least.
Oh well, that's good. That's good. Um. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. Aside from that, playing the hunting game still.
So, Call of the Wild. Yeah. Yeah. At some point, you and me and Cray probably have to do a stream, playing that together because I think I'd probably enjoy it more if I was playing with people.
Definitely.
Because playing by myself, I'm pretty much just sitting in a tower, just waiting for stuff to happen.
Oh, Crave doesn't like to wait.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like to. Okay, see, you're gonna have to give me tips because it feels like every time that I do it, I have to kind of sit in a position and I'm trying to use my calls and everything. I run out of patience. Yeah, I ended up having this thing where I was like, I am going to run down to a watering hole and see if I can just shoot everything. And I had no success. I had so very little success
Yeah,
doing that.
running down things is how things disappear on you.
Yes, exactly. So, um, yeah, great. I've just been hunting lately. Run out of patience. This is also fair. Um,
I can sit and wait.
you can,
Crave cannot.
yeah. I
But
cannot sit and
good at
wait.
she good at tracking, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, the tracking skills.
Yes.
I prefer exciting things.
Yeah,
Sure do.
out of the two of us, I'm the one that sights things usually.
Oh yeah. No, I
So
can get behind that, but then I wanted to try all of these other guns, like the airsoft rifle or whatever it was.
yeah,
But
the air gun,
it just
the air rifle.
yeah, it's just so many of them don't have range.
Oh yeah, an air gun. Well,
Or the
I've been
bow.
using the bow a lot.
The bow doesn't have a ton of range either,
Nope.
though.
But I'm
No,
good at stalking animals.
this is true.
I'm also good with the pistol.
What I almost inevitably end up with is the 30-06.
There you go.
That and what's the other? I like that the drilling rifle, the one that's like it's the shotgun, but then it also has like the big game round underneath. It's
I
like the
like
three
it, but I don't like that you have to reload every single round for the rifle
for the big
separately.
game one, yeah, for the big game shot, yeah. Yeah. I think I mostly liked it because it's like, well, this kind of fits a niche for two different things I need. And it's the one gun, and I don't have to think too much about it past that.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that aspect of it. But yeah, I wanted guns that probably wouldn't spook all the animals, but I was having no luck whatsoever. I think I got a duck.
Oh, see, I haven't gotten a duck.
I just went up to the thing and there were all these ducks on the pond, and I was like, and I think,
Mm.
and a shot, and I think I got two of them because they were sitting there. But no, I have not put down any of like my decoys or anything. I haven't gotten that sophisticated.
Yeah, that's the one thing we haven't really tried is bird hunting.
Right.
Just because birds.
Because burbs.
We're busy killing like big deer and water buffalo and shit.
Right. Right. Well, that's fine. Well, the water buffalo though, they'll ram you if
They'll murder you.
They are not friendly. You may have gotten the wrong impression of water buffaloes from
Oh no, we didn't. They've murdered us several times.
Good. Good. So yeah, don't feel bad about the water buffaloes. But yeah, no, Hunter Call of the Wild. It's not your typical game. Not your typical game. You do have to think about stuff a little bit more critically in that one. And what have I done? Well, I've been streaming a lot lately. Today I had a very long afternoon where I played the Old Republic. For my Jedi Knight, I decided to do a Jedi Knight thing, and so done some of that. That was pretty good actually. A little slower than I'd like, and there's definitely a lot of premium features that aren't involved. But I didn't mind it. There's my recommendation. It's not.
I didn't
not
mind
as,
it.
It's not as bad as I might have thought going in. So there's that. Just the other day, I had fun playing Donut County. That's a joy. It's a short game, but it was very entertaining. And I had done Deus Ex recently. And what I'm probably going to be starting on this coming Friday is going to be doing something a little bit different. But I wanted to do Fallout New Vegas. And for Fallout New Vegas, though, is I'm going to be doing a, I guess you would call it a streak run, but I'm actually kind of I'm modeling it after my time playing a monk in D&D, and I am doing it with no equipment at all.
That sounds like a terrible time.
It does, doesn't it? So look forward to that. The idea being after I leave Doc Mitchell's house, I will have absolutely nothing. I will have no money, no
Wait,
armor.
which Fallout are you doing?
New Vegas.
Okay.
No money, no armor, no weapons, no ammunition, no meds, nothing. My inventory is empty completely.
You should
and
play it without looting too.
I'm not looting anything. I can't pick anything up. Like the only things that I would be allowed to are mission critical items that I have to get. But then if I can drop them, I put them down. Like, I don't want anyone handing me stuff. I have to refuse stuff if people offer me things. No,
So
don't give me anything.
So how are you gonna get those med packs?
I no med packs, no stims, nothing, honey.
Well, you're gonna have a short game. You're gonna be save scumming the crap out of that one.
I'm gonna be save scumming. Yeah, because no armor also means my damage threshold is 0.
What damage threshold do you have?
I have
You're
no
gonna be
damage
broken.
threshold. Make sure there's a bed nearby, because also I can't use doctors because I have no money. I will have no
It's a shame you
caps.
can't have like a tent. Like the only item you can have is like a tent.
Oh yeah, no.
That
I'm
way
not
you
gonna
can
do
just
that.
sleep.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that the initial idea I had was I could only use the stuff that they give me at the beginning of the game. But that's actually something that I believe Mitten Squad actually did. And I was like, oh yeah, I can see how you'd pretty much have to build out a character for like melee. But for me, I would have to build a character that is completely an unarmed combat build. That's the only way that you could do it, because it's all you got available. That, and hopefully maybe speech. Speech would be useful. Stuff like that.
Endurance.
Yeah, basically full strength, full endurance, and maybe luck.
There you go.
That's pretty
You're
much
gonna
what.
die. Enjoy.
you have to build it out that way. Otherwise, it just doesn't. And it's probably some intelligence so I can get skill points. But that's basically it. So gonna try that because I was like, that's an interesting way to play different RPGs. Probably a terrible idea, but worth trying out. So there's that, and also for next Saturday, since it's gonna be a very special live stream, because we need to do a dating sim. Had a full boyfriend. It's gonna be a thing I play.
It's gonna be the most fun you've ever had, apparently.
I am going to date a bird. Because reasons. There are pigeons in this. How can you not be waiting for it? It's going to be so much fun. On Valentine's Eve, we're going to play that right into Valentine's Day. It's going to be fun. Off stream, I will also say that I've been playing Yakuza Kiwami. So this is the remake of the first game. And I have machinations to eventually do Yakuza 0. Have not played that one at all either on stream. Mostly because I think Yakuza 0 is probably a whole lot more fun to watch. The Yakuza, very much like Saints Row, gets way crazier as each installment goes on. So the original one is relatively straightforward with some wackiness involved, and then over the course of time you're like, what is happening here? But the one that they did at 0 is actually the prequel, and it takes place back in like the 80s. I like that. Anyway, I wanted to have my 80s adventure on stream, so that's saving it for that. But I've been playing Kiwami. I like the combat system. It's fun. You can switch between 4 different combat styles. See which one works best for you and which one works in different situations. There are some assorted strange stuff. People in gold suits that just suddenly attack you because reasons. There's a whole mini game with slot car racing. Just a game where you watch your little car go around a track.
Perfect. I love tracks.
Yep. There's a whole bowling game involved. You can learn how to play mahjong, and you could. There's a whole
It's a mahjong simulator.
There's a whole mahjong simulator in here. Yeah. It's all there. That's very common though for Yakuza. It's a very strange series, but the reason why it's so endearing to people is because you've got this crime drama storyline, but then involved in the middle of it, hey, here's some bowling and the batting cages, and here's an arcade, and here's the karaoke club, and here's and then you keep running into people who have the weirdest problems on the street that just need your help for who knows what reason. And you end up in a million different side quests that are kind of insane. The tone of it's not good tonally. The series is not great tonally, but if you can accept the fact that it's sometimes crazy and wacky and very off kilter and has a ton of mini games that you're going to get more invested in than the actual storyline, and then also there's this gritty crime storyline going on, then you're going to have a great time. And good news, there were like 9 games in the series, so you can have fun with that. Kind of want to play the new one, the Like a Dragon, that's more like an RPG, but not right now. So anyway, yeah, next week's streams are going to be a little bit different, and they are not going to be Donut County. Sorry.
Well, damn.
Donut County was over and done in 1. It's only a couple hours long, but you would have loved it, Alex. You get to play a raccoon that makes an ever increasingly large hole to dump stuff in.
Oh, yeah, I know that game. I just
Yeah.
haven't played it.
The dialogue is terrific, where everyone is trying to just make BK the raccoon admit that he has made a terrible mistake and he does not want to take any blame for anything he has done. It's like every time people order a donut, he's like, okay, I can deliver a donut by putting them in a hole where the donuts are. Because he thinks donuts are the holes. It's fascinating.
All right.
It's terrific. The Trash King. Great villain. Okay, well, I don't know what that was about. Anyway, anyway, this is probably a good time to end. We've discussed news. I think we talked about puzzles. I don't know. James will listen back to this and tell me if we succeeded. Seago,
He's gonna tell us how badly we
yeah. Seago, Assault, any of you, please let me know if we actually discussed anything worth value. I'm pretty sure
Street
that if it is, it's
Sharks.
probably about the fact that Extreme Dinos was a thing. Or maybe you learned a thing or two about Street Sharks. Honestly, that would be great. I hope you did. That they exist, that they're real, and also that a cat can fit into a bread box. This has been a very educational show, actually. I'm gonna go with that.
Educational is a stretch.
Ed-
It's been a show.
It's been edutainment. No,
That's
probably no. That's a stretch too. It's been a show.
See, that's what I said.
That's right. And never forget that that actually Power Rangers 2017 wasn't a very bad film.
It was terrible. I don't.
It was not. It was a good film, and I liked it. And they reference Krispie Kreme far more than any movie ever should, but I appreciated that they did. It's true. I think they had a sponsorship deal with Krispie Kreme because, like, literally,
Is
there's
that who Krispie Kreme is sponsoring these days?
yeah. It's
Power
great.
Rangers.
Rita Repulsa, and the secret to her power was underneath the Krispie Kreme, and so they had, and Rita Repulsa had to go to the Krispie Kreme, and
I don't know why I'm not surprised.
hey, you know what? And then they had to like save the Krispie Kreme from the clutches of. It's terrific, and they had a cameo from the Pink and the Green Ranger at the end. Loved it. Tommy and Kimberly just like show up. Anyway, thank you for joining us on this live episode of Delve, which is surprisingly just as focused as our normal episodes. Slightly more focused than our regular episodes.
More on the nose.
More on the nose than our regular episodes. And I'd like to thank everybody that joined us. I'd like to thank Cray. I'd like to thank Drunk Paul for coming in and explaining that his time in Red Dead Online is probably as successful as mine would be, and that, yes, apparently horses do die. Who would have thought? And thank you, of course, to DC for making it seem like we have clout. I don't think we do. But
Well, I think coherency maybe.
But yes, but when DC shows up, I feel like maybe we are actually doing something of value. Thank you for making me feel that way, DC.
I'm your comfort streamer.
Yes, you're. It's like we're all bailing water on the boat, and you're just steering ahead, like, well, there's the island right there, and it's
So like, can you guys calm
this is
down?
why we're doing this. Okay, this is good. This is good. I'm that literal person in Sea of Thieves that while the ship is going down, you're just you're just you've got the accordion out, and you're just doing this little accordion while the ship goes down, and say, I'm bailing on this before the sharks come in. The street sharks. That should be the next encounter in Sea of
We're just gonna
Thieves.
toss sharks at Nathan.
Just toss the sharks at Nathan. If anybody tries to make me stream games with sharks, I'm gonna be very upset. I'm not playing Raft. Anyway. Yeah, that's it. Okay, thanks for joining us, everybody. We will see you on the next episode. Maybe. If you're still with us. Have you fallen asleep? No? Good. Because you're not actually asleep. It's all a dream. Okay. Thank you for joining us in the dream. Bye, everybody.
Bye.